Hello. Hi Trent. Hi Proxima. Okay, let me turn off. Okay, there we go. So as you can see, we have a little bit of lore to investigate. Oh god, my earbud fell. Hold up. We have played. I should have put like some background music. Hold up. Let me put some non-copyrighted back music. Oh, is it? No, no. Okay, another point. We're being Sherlock. Not quite actually. So I was thinking that we could watch the game theory because it's the complete lore Puppy Playtime. And I even checked, and this covers chapter 4. It is the game that brought you here. It was the very first Puppy Playtime game I ever played is when you showed up, Proxima. And I'm very grateful for that. So I did it a little bit. Okay, I was trying to find some websites that we could do like a little board. Unfortunately, I cannot add like my own images because you have to pay a membership for that, and we ain't got money like that, chat. But I started working on some people's site. For example, we know that Ollie's the prototype. We know that Poppy completely abandoned us in chapter 4. Let's see. Huggy Wuggy. We found out that he's alive at the very end of chapter 4. And then Mommy Longlegs, I'm pretty sure she's dead too. she's gone. But one of the last things that she said was, what's it called? That they were gonna make her a part of him. Whatever that means. That's actually pretty fire, but no. So we're gonna watch the complete lore, and also add some things on our little board here. We know, okay. I think it's hard to. I don't think she's completely dead. Why do we need the pin board? Because I like it. I like it. I also don't want to just watch the video and that's it. We're still gonna watch it, but like, you know. Oh, you guys just hate me because I'm being creative? Like, what's going on? But we know the prototype is Ollie, and I'm pretty sure that the prototype is also, like, the creator. Who created Poppy Playtime Factory? Oh, Factory. Ah! There's no way I'm still alive? No, for sure. Elliot Ludwig, that's who it was. Okay, hold up. Hold up. Oh my god. The thing is, she could be dead. The only reason I don't want to. We were gonna be the game, I guess. Yes. There's so many theory videos out there, and I recommend, but I guess starting with game theory is good. Yeah, the thing is, I also don't. The thing is that it's also like 32 minutes long. Most of the other theory videos I saw on Puppy Playtime were all like 2-3 hours, and I didn't want the stream to be like 4 hours long. I'm not gonna lie, because at the same time, it's like we're gonna be watching the videos on everything that like actual theorists have done, and then I also wanted to like come up with like our own theories as well. But like, see, like most of these are like hours long. So game theory was the shortest one that I could find. There's no way I don't think she's. The thing is, it's hard to say because we saw her quote unquote die, but we also thought Huggy Wuggy was dead. So like, hold up. Mommy Long Legs. Death animation. So like, this is the last time we see her.
I asked you to play fair.
What is this? So here. Why does it look like that? Oh, it's the animation. Okay, hold up. I actually want to see the scene. That's how big Puppy Playtime lore is. That's why I love it, and it's because it has a really good story. Here. Okay, no, yeah, he is dead. Okay. I remembered her death being a little differently. But she did say that she was gonna make him a part. Or, like, she's gonna make her... He was gonna make her a part of him. Oh, God. The prototype has to be Elliot Ludwig. Which we also know is Ollie. Because Ollie was toying with Poppy. And I think it's like... I don't know what made Poppy trust Ollie. 10 Lost Secrets of Chapter 2. 10 Lost Secrets of Poppy Playtime Chapter 2.
Hey guys, it's Micah.
Okay, then do you guys want to watch this first? And then we'll watch the complete lore. It's an anniversary of Chapter 2 behind the scenes. Okay, we'll do that. We'll watch this first. And then... I don't know, I just thought this was cool. I wanted to do it because I thought this was cool. But yes, we'll watch this first, and then we'll watch the lore video. I think it's like, what's it called? I think the whole thing with Ollie was because Ollie was helping us and Poppy for apparently a very long time. Yeah, I do remember her saying that she was helping him for a really long time. I don't remember if she ever mentioned what made her trust him. Because Ollie sounds like a kid, right? You would think that like how would a kid know? Because all of the kids that were in their Poppy Playtime school, all of the kids that were here would have either died or been much older. It's like Ollie sounds like a kid that would have been alive during this time. And we come back many years later. How would a kid know everything that Ollie knows? But I don't know. There's a few things that just I feel like, I don't know. And then she also betrayed us, by the way. I'm not gonna... She hurt my wife. Our wife is like, oh my god. I can't do this. That made me so sad. That actually made me so sad. Kissy got hurt so bad, and that made me so angry when she betrayed us. Like, oh, she literally saved her. She got catfish. No, that shit. She looked good. Chapter 4 was a blessing to us because of the lore. I think my favorite Poppy Playtime has to be Chapter 3. And I think my favorite part has to be like the when we got to see the orphanage, and then we got to go through all the buildings. I think that was probably my favorite part. There was so much potential. Like it was so good. It was so good. And we got to see like all the beds, the schools. What was the name of the teacher again? Poppy Playtime teacher. Miss Delight. I liked her a lot. I honestly did. I really liked Miss Delight. I think that was probably like the whole orphanage was my favorite. I really liked the Miss Delight and like that scene. Also, either in the Discord or like in the YouTube comments or just anything, let me know what you guys think of this stream, because this is my first time doing like a reaction stream. And it's not like a like a watching cringe videos or like horror analogs or anything like that. It's like it's reacting and also just talking about like game lore. So this is like pretty different than what I usually do. So let me know if you guys want me to do more of these in the future and like what you guys think, because I want to know. Okay, we're gonna do the 10 Lost Secrets since it's the shortest one, and then we'll get to this.
And for Chapter 2's 1-year anniversary, I'm going to reveal to you 10 lost secrets from Poppy Playtime Chapter 2. We'll be discovering everything from deleted scenes, lost locations, to over a dozen unused characters. Keep in mind, this list does contain major spoilers for—
Oh yes, we even saw some of the like unused... Okay, well, hold up. Let me go frame by frame. Let's do it in the Discord with everyone else. Yes, I really like that. The Discord will be like a lot more organized. But yes, anybody who's watching this, we do have a Discord. It's in the YouTube bio and in the Twitch bio. Okay, we've never seen any of these characters. But we did see in, I think it might have been the second game, when we see like the basement of like unused toys. Poppy, like I know one of them was like Poopy something. Mr. Poop. Poppy Playtime, Mr. Poop? Was it Mr. Poop? Sir Poops a lot, that's what it was. Sir Poops a lot. They didn't use him because people thought it was, or like, there was we read some of the complaints that people thought it was really gross. So let's put unused characters. I like Sir Poops a lot. He was very cute. Teddy Sniper? Lore! Yes, welcome. We are going through the lore. I have like my own little board here, but still. I remember he is part of the Reject Project. Or the Reject Toys, that's what they were called, yes. Reject Toys. There was a lot. This is one of them. We saw this one in-game. We saw Sir Poops a lot. We also saw this one. We also saw... I forgot his name. Oh my god, there's all of them. It was Kick Paul. That was his name. Kick Paul. Okay.
Unused characters. Keep in mind this list does contain major spoilers for Chapter 2, so if you haven't played it yet, go play it, and then come back. You have been warned. Before we start, I want to let you know we're doing a giveaway for 10 copies of Chapter 2. More information on how to win your free copy later in the video. Now without further ado, let's get into it.
Well, that's some pretty art. Is that Kissy? Look at the reflection. That's Kissy. The only reason I can tell is because it's pink. Like, it's very, like, light pink. That has to be Kissy.
Chapter 2's alternate opening. Poppy Playtime fans will remember that Chapter 2 opens with us exploring Elliot Ludwig's office and eventually finding Poppy in a hidden room below.
You think so? Oh, it does look like Mommy. You're right.
In a now deleted opening of the chapter, after freeing Poppy from her case, you wake up and are immediately greeted by the sight of Poppy peeking out behind a door. The sequence continues with you following Poppy as she slinks throughout various hallways. Following Poppy then led you back outside to where Huggy Wuggy fell in Chapter 1.
Oh, this scene was
what
so
followed
good.
was a 10-minute parkour sequence.
And I remember, like, during this time, like, when this happened, everybody thought Huggy was dead. Because it's like a bajillion foot drop! I wonder if they're ever going to explain how he survived. Or if, like, the prototype fixed him,
from
quote
Chapter
unquote.
1, eventually leading to a power puzzle that activated an elevator, taking you down to the game station to meet your new foe, Mommy Longlegs. Now, you're probably wondering why this never ended up in the game. There were a few reasons this alternate intro was abandoned. The first reason was chasing Poppy was just turning out too funny. The sequence went through 3 major iterations, starting with you straight up chasing Poppy to follow her, but that just ended up being way too funny. Version 2
behind the scenes of the game is really nice. It shows how much work and passion the people made the game for people to play. Oh no, for sure. And they put a lot of work into a lot of it, and it is such a good story. Oh my god, it's so good.
Was
it
Poppy
really
peeking
is.
out behind doorways and walls.
It definitely stands out a little, like, more uniquely, because I remember when it first came out, a lot of people were comparing it to, like, FNAF because of the idea of, like, you know, the kids and all that stuff. Because I feel like once FNAF came out, which was like over a decade ago, a lot of things started to become very inspired by it. But they've definitely done a lot more things that just kind of separate out of, like, that
In the last
stigma,
version, you see
I guess?
Poppy's shadow moving across the floor and walls. This version was definitely the creepiest iteration, and it's the one we ended up sticking with for quite a long time. But in the end, it was abandoned for just feeling a little too cheesy.
FNAF was my childhood. I'm gonna eventually play all the FNAF games. I have the FNAF AFK books 1 through 7. It has like a total of 12 books. I'm just missing a couple, and they have like other different series, but I have 1 through 7, and oh my god, it's so good. I would say that, like, the most recent one I read, which is I think book 5, so far, I'm not gonna lie, was probably the most disappointing book I've read. I didn't feel like it was as scary as like book 1 through 4, but that was like my only complaint so far. I haven't read like the 6th or 7th AFK book. I don't know. I felt like the 1 through 4 was really good.
The second
you haven't
reason
read them,
was
you
simple.
should.
It was too long. You went through a 10-minute parkour sequence and a wild goose chase without really learning or seeing anything interesting, which leads us to the final reason for the scene's abandonment. Mommy Longlegs had no mention or build-up. To fix these shortcomings, we completely redid the intro sequence. We first added Elliot Ludwig's office to the sequence so you had an interesting location to explore. We then changed following Poppy to Poppy talking to you to make her a relatable character instead of just a cheesy horror doll that you follow around.
I hate her
Then
so much.
we added a scene forcing you to watch Poppy be kidnapped before your eyes to build up the threat of Mommy Longlegs. And finally, we had you jump down a slide rather than jump down catwalks for 10 minutes. In the end, these changes are why the alternate opening of Chapter 2 never saw the light of day. Number 2. Mommy Longlegs' alternate intro scene. Mommy's intro scene was one of the hardest things to get right in Chapter 2. The scene went through multiple versions of dialogue and pacing. These alternate versions, while relatively similar to
she
the
wasn't
final,
up.
had a few key differences. Here's the first alternate version.
I remember. I'm pretty sure even when I first played the game, which if you guys have not watched my playthrough of Poppy Playtime 1 through, I know I did one stream of Chapter 1 and 2. And then I did a stream of Chapter 3, then a stream of Chapter 4. If you guys haven't watched it, you definitely should. I'm pretty sure I even called Poppy like I don't think I called her an op, but I was asking like the chat if I should trust her, like if she was friend.
Oh my. Hello down there.
Should have stuck with my instinct and not trust her.
I wasn't expecting.
She heard our wife.
Always tells Mommy when guests are on their way down. Didn't this time. Always tells Mommy. Shh. You're okay now.
I definitely agree. I feel like they teased Catnap a bunch, but they didn't actually really use Catnap until like much later.
Mommy will take care of you. Mommy wants to take
I didn't feel
you
I was like scared of
somewhere
Catnap as I feel like I should have been.
It's easy to get lost down here. So
Actually, I know who oh, Poppy Playtime. Worm? Is he a worm? Hold up. No. Chapter 3 bosses. There's one character in its entire series that one I hated with a burning passion, and 2 actually scared the crap out of me each time. Where is he? I know he's in Chapter 3. Oh, no, it was Chapter 4. It was Chapter 4. Chapter 4. This guy! This one right here! Where is he? Yarnaby. I hate him. I hate Yarnaby. First time I watched a stream, you smelled the spot where Huggy Wuggy was and then disappeared, and that's how I remember. Okay, we don't talk about that. You know, chill out. That's like in the past. That's like I've changed. No, I haven't. Like I've changed. Why do you remember that? Wait, did you watch like the animated short, or did you actually watch the stream? You said that you watched the stream. That. Hi, Jarella. Oh, Jarella. We've made a Discord. It's in the bio. It's in the YouTube bio. It's in everywhere. But we've officially made a Discord. Which, Teddy, you should also join. The animated short was so good. Thank you. That costed me a kidney. To get that animated short done, it costed me a kidney. We've officially made a Discord server. And... yeah, that's all.
some have lost their way and never
my elbow.
found it again. But Mommy won't let that happen to you. Mommy always knows where you are.
Hopefully we can get some more animated shorts soon. In Chapter 3,
So,
Catnap
yeah,
is a
in this
predator and a hunter, so they made him less appear and gave him a boss fight to change the game ending for once.
Of the scene, there were a few
So I
key
felt like
elements
Catnap was
missing
very
from a storytelling
overhyped
standpoint.
for the little bit that we did see of him. Cause I was like low-key kinda like I was a bit scared of Catnap. But I think that out of all the games, Yarnaby was my biggest enemy. No, I hated that. I will never play. I'm not a Discord person. That's completely fine. You don't have to join. It's completely fine. I think Yarnaby was just. I hated Yarnaby. I will never play. And a lot. It was after I finished the game that I saw a lot of people were complaining about how buggy it was. But I'll think about it. It's okay, Jarell. You don't have to if you're not that kind of like if you're not a Discord person. It's completely fine. You don't need to. I remember seeing a lot of people complaining about how buggy the game was, how there was like a lot of bugs, a lot of things just felt very impossible to do. And I felt that way too, but I don't know if I was just actually bad at the game or like what. But I know I struggled with that game a lot, and I will never play a game on release date. I will give it like a week or two before I do that. That's what I'm gonna start doing. Because I wanted to play it when it came out. Cause it's like, oh, this game just came out. A bunch of people are gonna watch me play it. Cause like I'm playing it on release date. Biggest mistake of my life.
1. Mommy's introduction to the story didn't influence anything about your current objective. 2. The player had no reason to feel threatened by Mommy Longlegs because she had no prior build-up at the time. So we addressed some of these issues in version 2.
Why, oh my!
Oh, let me fix this. Okay. There we go.
Hello down there. I think you lost this. Do you want it back?
I usually just look at the Steam page and
Of
see what they
course
do
not.
when they do the bug fixes
Though
and then play it.
Mommy
I'll have to
assumes
start doing that.
this is something you want back?
Genevieve was the first AI they implemented in the series. That's why his scene is the most focused and fixed among the bugs. Really? They used AI for him? I didn't know that. Huh.
Finding you two down here was surprising.
I also did see that people were like very upset when the 4th chapter was released, because not just the bugs, but like a lot of people felt that because there were so many bugs and so many like issues that they were having just playing the game, that the game just wasn't ready to release. So I know that there was like a lot of people arguing about that the game just wasn't ready.
Always tells Mommy when guests are on their way down. Didn't this time. Always tells Mommy. Mommy loves to play games. Do you like to play games? How about you play some games with Mommy? Oh, you don't have to. Mommy can just keep little Miss Poppy if you don't want her.
If I knew it was gonna show me Kissy later in the game,
Knows you love to
I would have
play.
never flirted with Mommy.
Some have
I would've
lost
stayed
their
loyal.
way and never found it again. But Mommy won't let that happen to you. Mommy always knows where you are.
I'm still caught on how the logic with kids' organs being transplanted into Doris came to like. Yeah, I do wonder of that as well, like the actual logical part of how they did that. But it's also like, isn't it kind of like the same thing with like FNAF? How like the souls of the kids got trapped into the animatronics? Most chase scenes are scripted to happen, but Yarnaby, Miss Delight, and Nightmare Critters are AI and unpredictable. That's why they are harder to deal with and have more bugs. What? Miss Delight was also AI? No, you're joking. You gotta be lying. I loved Miss Delight. I still love Miss Delight, but I didn't know that Yarnaby, Miss Delight, and the Nightmare Critters were AI. But no, the Miss Delight, I think that scene was like absolutely crazy. Oh no, with Pianosaurus, that was so disappointing. They like low-key hyped him up. I even watched, did you guys watch the short that they posted of why is this doing that? Okay, let's see, mob entertainment Pianosaur. Did you guys, I'm here, you're welcome. Hello, that guy. Yes, Miss Delight is AI. Wait, wrong account? More hidden streamers found you from a short. Hello! They even had... No, did you guys see the short that they made for Pianosaurus? And then he was there for like 2 frames. Yeah, I like the jingle of all the chapter 4 toys. Hold up. No, hold on. I need to find which one it was. Was it? No, this was for Doman. Was it this one? That's not Pianosaurus. I'm here, you're welcome. Hello, Niall. Wait, no, I wrote the wrong thing. Pianosaurus. It was this one. I was like leaving school and this came up on my recommendation. They hyped him up so much. But that was actually so disappointing when he was only there for like 2 frames. That was actually so sad. Look at this. Look how scary they made him. Like, not only that, I'm not gonna lie. Like, don't even mess with me on this. They made him seem like he was gonna be like a big character. And then he was like 2 inches tall. What's going on? Okay, it's actually gonna... Okay, there we go. They genuinely, they did not make him that big. They didn't make him that big. It was like, I don't know. I felt like I got scammed. But like, I saw this. I think this was on the same day. Was it the same day of its release? Hold up. Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 release date. Okay, it was 5 months ago. Yeah. Okay, on 30th. Okay, what day was this on? 30th. So they released this before Chapter 4 came out. I watched this on the day that Chapter 4 was released. And because it came up on my recommended at the time. So I watched that before I played it, and I was like, oh, Piano Sword's gonna be like a big boy character. He's gonna be big, he's gonna be tough. No! That was so disappointing. He deserves justice. Are you kidding me? They did my voice so dirty.
So this version addressed one of the...
So I have to continuously adjust. Because for some reason... There we go. Every time I zoom in and then tab out, the size of the screen changes. Okay.
big issues. Mommy now kidnaps Poppy to give the player a motive to play Mommy's games. But then we realize something. The player doesn't even need Poppy. Who cares if she's kidnapped? So Mommy showing up still didn't affect your current objective. So here's what we did to solve it. We had Poppy be the only one who knows the train code, so now you need her to escape. We also added that scene where Mommy comes out of nowhere and pulls Poppy down into the abyss. Problem solved. Now, Mommy steals your only way of escape, and watching Mommy kidnap Poppy makes her introduction all the more threatening.
I have a Blender model of Pianosaurus. How is that? Have you been messing with him?
3.
Have you been making him bigger?
Lost designs. Fans will remember that the game station features a giant mural of Mommy Longlegs, a playground for the kids, and entrances to the station's 3 main games. But it didn't used to be this way. The original design of the game station was absolutely massive, and featured a mural on the roof of a giant sun and moon illuminating the station.
The sun and the moon kind of reminds me of FNAF. I think it was called Security Breach, right? FNAF Security Breach kids section. Where is it? Or no, it was like moon and sun. Oh. Like this area where they came up, that's what this kind of reminds me of. It does have that atmosphere. That's what I felt. That like how just, well, the sun and the moon part, but also just like the vibe. It's a fun model. Nah, you gotta give him justice. You gotta make him big. You gotta make him scary.
Although it looked jaw-dropping, there were 2 major issues. It was unrealistically big and was completely empty. It didn't seem like it could have been a real functioning location for kids. The second version featured a new design for the sun and moon, and a lot more color in the room to make it more inviting for the kids who visit. However, it was still completely empty. So we went back to the drawing board,
As nice as this looks, I feel like this would fit more like Security Breach because of like the sun and the moon part that they have. I do like what they did for the this vision, like the original one. Not the original, like what they have, like this is the original, but like what they ended up keeping, like to make the train station. I like it. I like it a little better.
What a place like the game station
because they also had like drawings of the kids, like that they made for the characters.
In the end, we shrunk the room, added a big playground for the kids to play in
while
they waited for their turn in the games, added structural supports for realism, catwalks for Playtime Co. employees to observe the things going on, and of course, added some classic Playtime Co. style branding. Number 4, Musical Memories Lost Design. Musical Memory used to have a much different aesthetic than it currently does. In the original version, the walls were completely covered in TV screens of various sizes that would display the name of the button that you're supposed to press, and the buttons you press during the game used to be suspended by big mechanical arms. The reason this design was abandoned was fairly straightforward. The aesthetic was too high-tech looking for Playtime Co. The array of TVs and mechanical arms made the room feel closer to a spaceship than a toy factory. On top of that, we also decided that we wanted to include an area where Mommy Longlegs could watch you play. And that just wasn't going to work in a curved room with a bunch of
Increase the volume a little bit? Okay.
TVs.
Is this better?
Number 5. Cassie Cutie Pillar. Some of you may actually be aware of this one. Cassie Cutie Pillar was the original character that
turn it up for you guys, and then turn it down for me. Is this
was
better?
going to be chasing you throughout the Statues game. She was a giant caterpillar with a pink snout, beady eyes, and 2 antennae. Cassie actually appeared in the official Chapter 2 trailer before she was scrapped. Though Cassie was cute, we felt we had the opportunity to make the character more unique by creating an unholy combination of 2 different animals. So we went back to the drawing board. We spent a long time picking the right face for this
looks a lot better.
something that didn't feel too
Scarier,
goofy
and
for the
in my
Statues
opinion, a
section
little
of the
cuter.
game. Eventually, we settled on the design that would become PJ Pugapillar. This was one of the later changes we made to Chapter 2, as we had already made a completely finished model of Cassie, complete with fur simulation and realistic eyeballs, as well as various art of Cassie throughout the game having to be swapped with the new PJ art. Number 6. Daisy the Flower and 7 other characters. This is probably the most well-known one on the list.
in the
Very
basement.
similar to Cassie Cutie Pillar, Daisy was the original character that was going to be lowering towards you
I heard
during
about
the
this
musical
too.
memory game. She was a flower marionette suspended on strings with a very
Did you guys ever read the comic? The comic of what's his name?
unsettling face. Like Cassie, Daisy also appeared briefly in the trailer for Chapter 2. Daisy was abandoned because we wanted a character with more theming, and a way to alert the player that death was getting closer and closer. And this is where things got difficult. We went through 7 completely different character concepts for the musical memory toy. A monkey, a clown, a fox, a princess, a bluebird, another bird, a ballerina bird, and finally, a bunny. We liked the bunny because he had great theming with his symbols and clothes, as well as his symbols serving as a great audio tool as you hear him descending upon you in musical memory. After a few slight design tweaks and color variations, we finally got the Bunzo Bunny.
Bunzo Bunny, that was his name, okay. Bunzo Bunny. Comic. This one. It's where he gets, where he tries to, oh my god. It's graphic. It's where it's like the birthday one, where he tries to have, I think it was like a birthday one, but he ends up getting trapped at like the very bottom of the facility, or like he gets trapped somewhere very dark and very alone, and he ends up dying of hunger in it, because nobody comes back for him.
All know today. Daisy the Flower wasn't completely absent from Chapter 2, however, as we see various art and posters of her throughout the game, as well as a full cardboard cutout with voice lines from Daisy. Number 7. Mommy Longlegs Alternate Designs. Mommy Longlegs went through dozens of designs before she became the noodly pink maniac.
Oh, Proximo, this is what I meant. There's a comic of Bunzo Bunny, and it's him trying to throw a surprise party, I believe, or like just like a party in general, if I remember correctly. And he basically gets lost. Like, he goes somewhere really dark. He gets lost, and then he ends up, yeah, I saw this, yeah, and then he ends up dying of hunger because nobody finds him.
We all know today. 2 of these scrap designs actually show up in Chapter 2 as old blueprints for Mommy Longlegs. Her first design was a noodly plush doll with button eyes. It was cute, but that was the problem. The design wasn't eerie enough. A few other things on top of that was she looked too young for her name to be Mommy, she didn't have enough resemblance to a spider for her Longlegs pun to make sense, and we wanted to try making her a plastic toy to make her feel more unique from Huggy Wuggy. For the next designs, we really tried to push the spider look, as well as make her appearance a bit more creepy. She did look like a spider now, but too much so, to the point where we didn't think it would be realistic for Playtime Co. to create a toy like her. Another issue was this design didn't necessarily look like a toy at first glance either. The next designs really tried to push the creep factor in the face, and reel back a bit on the spider elements. This design pass is also where we came up with the idea of Mommy having limbs that could stretch. Originally,
They went through so many different alternatives. Like, these are so like completely different from what they ended up
her
doing.
limbs were going to extend in the form of plastic tubes, similar to the way a lightsaber toy might extend. This design was scrapped because of the challenge of making her limbs bend while also being made of extending plastic tubes. The variation of colors also made her design feel too sporadic and complex. To solve these problems, we came up with the concept of elastic plastic, a substance that Playtime co-created that can stretch like rubber but also retain its shape and position. We also simplified her color pattern and gave her a spherical waist similar to a spider's abdomen. We concepted a few alternate designs after this one with more spider-like features, however, the problem from before still persisted that it was too spider-like and creepy for Playtime Co. to have realistically made. Number 8. The 6 Lost Toys. From the beginning of Chapter 2, we knew we wanted to have new toys present in each of the games in the game station. These became Bunzo Bunny, the Mini Huggies, and PJ Pugapillar. But before those were made, we had 6 different potential characters created to fill these roles.
I like this dog
Jolly
one.
Clown, who went through a few design iterations, Lovebug, who actually appears in
The clown
Chapter
would've
2
been really
as a
good.
rejected toy, Psydog, a robot dog toy, Sunny Buddy, who also appears as a rejected toy, Lily the Frog, a frog on roller skates, and Monster Truck. That one kinda speaks for itself. Number 9, the Quality Control Room and the Production Room. In Chapter 2, before entering Musical Memory, we take a detour to the molding room where you create the green electric hand. In an early version of the chapter, every game you go to was going to be paired with a factory room similar to the molding room. Wackawuggy had the production room, and Statues had the quality control room. These rooms were never implemented into the game and were scrapped during the concept phase because they just seemed like unnecessary filler. Number 10, Mommy Longlegs' death scene. One of
You're gonna
Chapter
just make them
2's
all
most
this?
infamous moments is the death of Mommy Longlegs. After minutes of running away from Mommy, you're backed into a corner with no way out. But just as all hope seems lost, you pull down a lever that activates a grinder. Mommy's arm is pulled into the grinder and she desperately tries to escape, screaming for her life as she's slowly crushed to death. Now, you wouldn't think it, but there was actually quite a bit of debate behind the scenes about how Mommy should be
Was it
pulled
because of
into
how,
the
like,
grinder.
a bit
In the alternate
gruesome it
version of
was?
Mommy's
Oh!
death, her head is actually pulled inside and grinded to a pulp, leaving her lifeless lower half to fall onto the floor. Here it is.
What have you done? You make me part of you! You can't do this to me!
Holy crap. That actually would have been so much, like,
We decided to scrap this
more
version
graphic.
for 2 reasons. One, the imagery of Mommy's upper half being dragged away would be more resonant than her lower half being dragged away. And 2, Mommy's head being grinded up might have just been too gruesome to show without the game getting an M rating. So there you go. Those were 10 lost secrets in Poppy Playtime Chapter 2. And in honor of Chapter 2's anniversary, we're doing a giveaway for 10 free copies of Chapter 2 on Steam. Click the link in the description below if you want to enter. Chapter 2 is also on
wait, give me one sec to fix ish. But that is a lot of changes. Well, yes, that was a lot of changes. It would be insane seeing her head do that. It'd be just very graphic, and yeah, I think I'm surprised that they don't have already an M rating, simply because of like how everything else is. Because this is still like, oh man. That would have definitely been more gruesome, but I agree that it's a lot more, it's better that it was like, that it grabbed her head. But I am curious to see like how much more they elaborate on her being a part of him. Like I wonder how like, cause we've seen like teasers of like the prototype's hand, but I want to know what the final look is gonna be like if he's collecting their parts to like merge as one. Cause that just sounds, I don't know, it just sounds crazy. Alright, you guys ready?
Playtime Chapter 4. It's been a whole year since the previous chapter, and in the meantime, Mob has done what they do best, giving out more lore than you can shake a mechanical arm at. But don't worry.
Actually, I'm assuming it would be all their powers and bodies together. That sounds awful. That sounds like really disgusting. Hold up. I wonder, do they have any books like how FNAF does? Like any AFK books? Orientation notebook? Chapter 1 and 2 gave a little childlike atmosphere, but they went dark mode in 3 and darker in 4. I mean, I feel like it always had a bit of a dark vibe, it just progressively got darker. Just one? Which is this one. The orientation notebook. I want that. No, they should definitely make some, like how FNAF has the AFK ones. I think people would love this.
Loyal theorists, because I have played the spin-offs, I watched every trailer, I even read the book. Also, you don't have to. Here is everything you need to know about the Poppy Play timeline. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, the show that's ready to take its relationship with Poppy to the next level. We got nothing. No new character, no new trailer, not even a release date. That's right, just like Scott was releasing games so fast Matt couldn't keep up, not 5 minutes before our recent theory dropped, Mob Entertainment released a new trailer with a new character and a release date. 5 minutes? Are you kidding me? I'm convinced Poppy wasn't brought to life for lore reasons. It was to troll me for all eternity. I wouldn't be surprised if they did the same thing to us this week. Regardless, because of Mob's ridiculous and seemingly never
I'm glad they're making it. Yeah, no, the game. I'm glad that they are making it scarier. I think the second and third game were my favorite. I didn't feel as attached to like the fourth game as I did to the other ones. Is that just me? But I think that the third game was like, I also got a little confused when transitioning from like chapter 2 to 3. Only because I feel like when we got to 3, that's when they kind of like threw in that they also had like an orphanage. And I just feel like that was almost like a little random. It just felt like very like, whoa, like that's very different. So I just felt like it was like such a shift. And then it started to show us so much more that I was just like, okay, I'm a little overwhelmed. It feels like there's so much more, but like it also felt a little thrown in. That's why Chapter 4 has a mixed review on Steam. Yeah, I did hear about that.
ending amount of content leading up to Chapter 4's release, it can be a little tricky to keep up with everything. We've had a book, 2 ARGs, a Roblox spin-off, and over a dozen teasers and videos. But if you're someone that's only played the games, or you just haven't subscribed to the channel yet, then there's been a whole year worth of story that you would have no idea about going into Chapter 4. So today, I'm going to give you all a hand and fill you in from the beginning with all the important names, dates, and lore Mob has given us, as well as a few theories of our own for good measure, all in one cohesive timeline. Now, this is a big task, so instead of doing this like our usual theories, I wanted to try treating this like our FNAF timeline. It's more story focused, with references in the bottom corner showing thumbnails, books, titles, basically any citations that I'll be pulling from. I've also got this nifty little traffic.
It's definitely a video for you. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. But no, I did see so many like mixed reviews on this team. I even checked it out after like a week or two because I don't know. I felt like the game was so difficult, and I don't know if it was just like difficult because I just genuinely couldn't understand the puzzles or anything, or like I don't know. I just felt like it was, I don't know.
Light symbol in the top corner to clear things up. Green means what I'm saying are facts that we have physical evidence for. Amber means what I'm saying is theory, but it's supported by evidence. And red means it's speculation that makes sense for the story, but we don't have a lot of evidence for. So keep a close eye on your screens, theorists. It's time to analyze the history of this forgotten factory. Just be careful that the screen doesn't stare back. Playtime Co. was founded in the good old US of A in 1930. Quickly, it became one of the most well-renowned toy companies in the world, priding itself in making toys locally instead of overseas like its competitor Mattel. Yes, that Mattel, the ones who made Barbie.
I know exactly where you're going with this, and I have to say, I really resent it.
All of this success was thanks to one man, the founder of Playtime Co., Elliot Ludwig.
Which is definitely the prototype. Typically, like, you know, the big boss mans always are. But I don't think this could be literally anyone else but Ludwig, who we also know plays as, if we go back to the board, the prototype, also known as Ollie, also known as Elliot Ludwig, is my guess. I can't imagine it being literally anybody else.
All he wanted was to bring joy to children, but sadly, that noble goal meant that he spent all of his time at work, neglecting his own family, and his wife had had enough, divorcing him that same year. Nevertheless, Elliot pushed forward, though for 2 decades, he struggled to figure out the key to innovating the toy-making world, until finally he hit a breakthrough. In 1950, Elliot created a toy that would change the world forever. Poppy Playtime.
A little girl can talk to her. Poppy gives her answers. She is the first doll actually able to have a conversation with a child.
Not only that, but her hair also smelled like poppies, which had been used throughout history to help children fall asleep, making her an instant hit with the parents. How did Elliot achieve this incredible feat? Well,
She's a
because
traitor!
Poppy wasn't just a plastic toy. Elliot used organic parts to make her,
We saw this, and this is disgusting.
allowing Poppy to really seem alive. He just needed to add a quick no refund policy to anyone who tried to fix the Poppy doll themselves, just to keep it under wraps. Thankfully, no one ever discovers this little secret of Elliot's. But Poppy sales alone can't keep the toy company afloat. So they release a handful of new toys, like Bron the Dinosaur in
From the dinosaur, but we only got to see him like really once, which is when we were moving him out of the platform.
1961, or Boxy Boo in 19...
We also saw a lot of Boxy Boo. Or actually, did we see? I think we saw him like posters of him. We didn't actually see him, but I did hear that he was in Project Playtime, which I haven't played yet.
Though none of them really compare to Poppy in terms of popularity. But then, out of nowhere, tragedy struck. Since day one, Elliot had been encouraging his employees to adopt, to bring joy to children who had none of their own. And he lived by example, adopting a daughter of his own. Finally, the family that the family man had always wanted, until she passed away before his very eyes. There was nothing he could do to save her. All Elliot could do was take the biological knowledge he had and turn her into another organic Poppy doll, just so he could keep a part of her with him forever, so part of her could live on. Little did he know how successful that experiment would be. Somehow, his daughter's mind managed to survive the process. Naturally, Elliot is shocked by this. His daughter is back, living on inside this doll that he made. He couldn't let her fall out of his grasp again, so he builds a family home inside the factory storage bay and locks her inside a glass case to keep her safe. He even adds a passage leading directly to his office so he can visit her whenever he or she wants. With his family now returned to him, his passion to strive for innovation...
I don't think we ever really got to meet or see anything of his wife.
...was restored.
But with so much ambition, he rose back up and continued to fulfill his vision for the Playtime Co. toy factory.
The first thing he needed was more people like him. Smart, capable people that could help him continue to innovate and answer the toughest questions the world had to.
That's what I was saying. Like, I think it was like the whole kids being like murdered, and then, you know, them being into the animatronics, because technically, I mean, 'cause that's exactly what they are. But it's like, it's not real, because FNAF uses the whole like, oh, if the animatronics kill them, their souls get trapped into the animatronics. For here is that they literally just dissect them and then put their body parts, and like they use the kids' body parts as like basically the stuffing of the bosses, and like all the characters in general. Like they use their organs and stuff as like the stuffing. So that's what it gave me really FNAF vibes. Not only that, it's like it's something that also relates to children, because FNAF was like, it's a pizzeria for kids to like have parties, kind of like Chuck E. Cheese. So it's like, it's also the thing of like they're using like kids as the target audience. And
to offer. Like
then
say,
this
how was a
happens.
child able to live on inside a doll, perhaps? But older minds are harder to shape. He needed people who still had some of that childlike wonder, and thus the Young Geniuses program was born. Elliot sent out flyers and posters similar to that of the time period, trying to gather young minds together to turn them into the scientists of the future, stamped with the logo he'd been using for Playtime since the early days.
Before chapter 4, after chapter 4, we saw how the children are treated under literal hell. You think so? Because I don't remember that. I remember that we know that there was Stella, and Stella was the one under, like, she was in charge of taking care of the kids, in the sense of she had to test the kids that she felt were the best candidates, and if they passed the series of tests, then they would be the next candidates into making the next, like, the next toy, right? But it didn't, I don't think the kids were treated under, like, hell. I think they were treated good, just to keep them happy and keep them like well spirited. I think I think they kind of gave them like that fantasy of like that they're in good hands, but then once they passed the test, then they were like, you know, tested on and stuff like that. But I don't remember the kids being treated like badly. It's just that they were kind of low-key doomed from the start, because the moment that they were there and they passed those tests, then it was over.
Attracted many young and bright individuals, including a brilliant, albeit slightly cold young man named Harley Sawyer. Harley was a peculiar
What we know
character.
is where is he? I don't think I have him here. But we know Harley is the computer guy. Poppy, Playtime, Harley. Yes, this is Harley. The doctor, that's what it was. Yes, he's the doctor.
He didn't care for his comrades, he hardly smiled, but one
did
thing
not
he
like
clearly
people.
loved was science. And Elliot took a liking to this strange boy. He may not have been normal, but neither was Elliot. He saw part of himself in Harley. This was the kind of kid he could take under his wing, mold into someone who could really shape the future, and maybe even catapult Playtime into the stratosphere of success. Unfortunately, that didn't quite work out. Harley never lost his distaste for others, and while he continued to pursue innovation, he was just doing so to push the boundaries of what could be done, not to help humanity like Elliot envisioned. That being said, Elliot didn't give up. He kept trying to change Harley's point of view.
Yeah, he really was like
But no matter
the main
how
reason.
hard he tried, it was no use. Harley could not change. Not here anyway. And so Elliot makes the hard decision to kick Harley out of the program, sending him home to the outside world to be around more people, hoping it will help him to understand why they do what they do. Harley was destroyed by this news. His hero, Elliot Ludwig, was abandoning him. All he could see Elliot as was soft, pathetic, and short-sighted, backstabbing him because he was too much of a genius for Elliot to understand. Though it didn't matter now. He had to do what he was told. And so Harley left the program, disappearing from the halls of Playtime Co.
And then we saw that he
At least
came
for
back.
now. Foreshadowing.
We know.
As
he
the
came
years
back.
go by, more and more, Elliot feels like it's not really enough to just encourage his employees to adopt. There are still so many children that need a home.
Not only that, he specifically selected, because we also know that the reason that they made a lot more toys was also to replace the workers. And he selected very specific people that he could trust with the vision of doing tests on children to then kill them, to then create the toys. Like, for example, Stella. We saw the videotapes of her in the chapter 1, how she says that she sometimes does feel like a kid in an adult's body, and how that innocence, that purity is like very special, blah 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 blah. And Stella was part of like the secret projects. She was in charge of the test of the kids, and she knew what was happening to the kids. She knew that they were all being killed to then be turned into toys. So it's not like, oh, she didn't know. She did. But he also trusted very specific people for those kinds of projects that involve the death of the children.
like his own daughter did. And while the Young Geniuses program was good, by taking on young people so late in their childhoods, even they were already stuck in their ways like Harley was. So, in 1976, Elliot announces a new program, Playcare, Playtime's own on-site orphanage, where he can continue to bring joy to children and educate them in the ways they should go, creating a mass of young, brilliant minds that could help lead the world to prosperity. While all those programs sound good on paper, and they were well received by the public, they were beginning to cost
Bigger Bodies
Elliot.
initiative was made by the doctor to replace workers to decrease complaints and labor costs. Yes, I know that the cost was probably the biggest reason, because of course you don't have to pay any of the toys to do it. And for the Bigger Body initiative, Stella was heavily in charge of that. Because I remember like they were losing a lot of profits from like the workers, or like they were just not profits, but they were losing a lot of money because of the labor costs. That was like one of the biggest reasons.
A lot of money. Poppy was
Not only that, it was also that they wanted, if I'm not mistaken, they also wanted to keep the group of people that knew about like what they were doing behind the scenes small. So it was just like a very handful of people that knew about the kids being experimented on, the kids like, you know, dying, da 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 da. Like it was a very small group, and they wanted to keep doing. I think they didn't. I'm not too sure if they used like the other toys to experiment on other toys. I
The
don't
last
think
big
so.
financial success, and that was over 2 decades ago. But he can't keep innovating in the toy world and run these programs on his own. He would need more staff. So he hires people like Stella Graber to run the play
Yup.
camp, Leith Pierre as head of innovation, Eddie M.N. Ritterman as the head of research, and Jimmy Roth as the chief marketing officer. Their first assignment? Figure out how to stop the company from feeling, quote, old-fashioned. With all their powers combined, they try to get the company back on top, starting with the release of brand new toys like Candy Cat in 1979. They continue to release toys into the next decade. They try Swapimals that you could mix and match like Cappy and PJ Pugapilla. They also try Kick Me Paul for some reason, but nothing could quite match the success of Elliot's original Poppy. That was until 1984, when Elliot had another idea. He went to the team, and shortly after, he releases the Blue Boy himself, Huggy Wuggy. Things were looking up. Huggy is such a big hit with the kids, it basically becomes the face of the brand. In the eyes of the public, Poppy was a long-forgotten memory.
We will not be able to fit 5 years worth of lore in 2 hours, so that's why we'll take a lifetime first as a starter. Yeah, definitely. I'm really hoping that they make some books, because I know like for example the FNAF AFK books, they're not entirely okay. They're not canon for the original story, because they also in the AFK books they use animatronics that have never been really like openly talked about in the games. Kind of like animatronics that were in behind the scenes kind of animatronics, or if we're gonna use like the Poppy Playtime reference, like reject projects or like reject toys. A lot of the rejected animatronics are in the AFK books. I think I'm pretty sure that they even use like actual canon characters, like I think Springtrap or like Golden Freddy in the AFK books. No, yeah, Golden Freddy is in the AFK books, right? Look, FNAF, games. Where is it? Where is it? Into the Pit. This is part of the first AFK book, and I'm pretty sure this is gold. It has to be like Golden Freddy, right? Is that not Golden Freddy? I feel like I'm mistaken. Hold up, let me. Does it not say? But I'm pretty sure this is like Golden Freddy, right? Okay, no, it's not. It's it Golden Bonnie? Bonnie, yes. Like the ears are too small. That's my bad. But yes, this is part of this is the AFK book 1, and it was really good. Like I really liked it. I hope to one day be able to play the game, because I wanted to do all the FNAF games in order. But I know that's not entirely necessary, because I don't think I need to play any of the other games to play like Security Breach. I don't think. The original Springtrap suit, I think. Is it? Springtrap suit. It is, but like it still has the ear, so it's just Golden Bonnie. Like the ear's fully intact. But yes. So hopefully they do the same thing with like Poppy, where they have like books that maybe aren't entirely lore like canon, but they can still be lore accurate in another sense. Just because like, there's just so much of Poppy Playtime that's still different from FNAF that I think it'd be really nice to read the books.
memory. Long live Huggy! Of course, he has to capitalize off of this success by releasing Huggy's pink counterpart, Kissy Missy,
I love
1
Kissy.
year
That's
later.
my wife.
She too is a huge success, just not as big as Huggy, obviously. Playtime Co. is
My
on
wife.
top of the world at this point. It's almost like they can do no wrong. But sadly, over the next half of the decade, their profits once again decrease. Sure, Huggy was successful, but
Bigger
just like
Bodies
Poppy before,
Initiative.
you can't sustain an entire company off of a single toy, even if he has a cute pink girlfriend. They needed something new, and one of them had an idea. What if you create a bunch of toys as part of a set? That way, kids aren't buying just one toy,
this the
but
little critters?
several. Enter the Smiling Critters
Smiling
in
Critters.
1989. Similar to Care Bears or Cabbage Patch Kids, these are small, cuddly toys with big personalities, but each one is unique, and so you would need to collect them all for the full experience. This was
I don't think any kids made it out alive, but it would definitely be nice if we got like journal entries. Like cuz we do know that they have a lot of kids. I'm sure one of them minimum had written like a diary. Like if they had a book where they put a bunch of like all the kids that were there, cuz we don't actually meet any of the kids, but we do see photos of some of the kids in like the hallways. It'd be really good if they referenced them back in the book, and then we got to see like their point of view, like the POV of what it was like a day-to-day there, and like a journal or diary entry of what it was like for them, their own individual experience before they disappeared. And like they talk about like the weird tests, how they had him do this or her do this and that, and how like just, or like if some of the kids overheard employees talking about like just some secret projects or just like anything like that, I think would be really good. We get to see like what the kids thought. We also get to see like, I think it'd also be good if we got to see more lore on the employees, like their roles in much more detail, and like how their day-to-day job was as well, just like to get some more insight of how it was
the
like.
perfect way to increase the dropping sales numbers Playtime was facing. Plus,
that's
to
me though.
really capture the same appeal as Poppy and her poppy-scented
Also,
hair,
it's chalky,
these
I'm not gonna
critters
lie.
would each come with their own unique scents, all with calming effects. Crafty Corn smells like jasmine, Bobby Bear Hug like rose. But would calming be enough? Poppy's hair literally put children to sleep. That's what made her such a hit with the parents in the 50s. They needed these smiling critters to do the same. So they get to work developing one more smiling critter.
Catnap!
One with the advertised scent of lavender, a scent associated with sleep, but instead of actually using lavender, they would create a poppy gas that would actively put kids to sleep, just like Poppy did. They put the smoke inside the purple cat and gave him a name that tied into his sleepy powers, Catnap. And just to be on the safe side, Playtime Co. also commissions the creation of a Saturday morning cartoon featuring this new cast of characters, all begging
That
Catnap
looks so
to help them
creepy.
fall to sleep with his red smoke, showing kids and parents alike that this is just what the toy is meant to do. Initially, everything is going according to plan. Sales
looks
for this
so
new line
creepy.
of toys are great. They are flying off the shelves. Both parents and kids really seem to love these new adorable critters, except for Catnap. After a few weeks, doctors began reporting a rise in children suffering from intense nightmares that all started after they received their Catnap toys. In Playtime's desperation to mimic the sleep-inducing effects that Poppy had, they'd accidentally concocted something that, yes, put children to sleep, but also gave children horrible nightmares. Thankfully for Leaf and the
It's
team,
like the equivalent of a, what's it called? When you're like paralyzed, but you're sleeping, but you're awake. What's it called? And like you, what's it called? What's it called? Hold up. I'm trying to think of the name, but I can't. Sleep paralysis? I don't think it's sleep. Is it sleep paralysis? You're fully conscious but unable to move or speak while falling asleep or waking up. It is sleep paralysis, but I was thinking of like a different word, but this is what it would be, like sleep paralysis. That's basically what it is. It sounds kind of cool, but like also like awful. Because you're getting it from a freaking toy.
no connection was ever proven, but they still needed to save face.
I wonder, okay, because we know that this has effect on kids. I wonder if it ever had an effect on like animals. So you guys ever heard like, or like you guys have heard how with like cats or like cats and dogs, they're able to like see things that like people can't? Do you think that like if people had pets and they had like a catnap toy, they would just bark or like hiss or growl at it? Because I'm also wondering how just pets in general reacted to it.
Face. They recalled all of the catnap toys, and catnap was removed from the Smiling Critters lineup entirely. The Smiling Critters disaster put Playtime Co. in a bad spot. If they were going to survive the next decade, something needed to be done, and fast. And so, Leith Pierre put his head of innovation status to good use and came up with an unusual but effective plan. He hired a private investigator, Jared Lockhart, to track down former members of the Young Geniuses program that Elliot had started decades ago. These people trained under Elliot. They were geniuses from a young age, and most of them had quite impressive careers. If anyone was going to be able to come up with an idea to save this company, it would be one of them. Sometime later, Jared arrives with the list, and when it lands on Leith's desk, there is one option that immediately catches his eye: Harley Sawyer.
Oh, boys! I'm back!
This guy was now certified by the American Board of Neurological Surgery. He was, by all accounts, a genius. And with Elliot using biological parts to make Poppy, a surgeon felt like the perfect fit. Leith presents this idea to Elliot for final approval. And while Elliot is hesitant at first, he does remember that Harley was the brightest of the bunch back in the day. And maybe all these years away have taught him the lessons he was hoping he'd learn. Do it. With that approval, Leith reaches out to Harley on January 15th, 1990, giving him an offer to come and join Playtime Co. once again. And strangely, despite the hurt Elliot caused him all those years ago, for some reason, Harley accepts the offer. Immediately, he begins showing the level of promise they were hoping for from this recruit. He sees the problems at Playtime Co., the public outcry, the declining profits, and he came up with an idea that would fix everything.
Giant toys. We can increase our workforce and simultaneously decrease the number of lawsuits and people on our payroll if the people we have working aren't people. Put me in charge of it, and I will save this company.
Leith makes Harley head of special projects, and together they begin hiring other scientists to help with the development of the Bigger Bodies Initiative. Some of them are fellow Young Genius alumni like Dr. Bruno White and Dr. Carmine McKay, but others are just young and eager biologists looking for their first big break, like the owner of the orientation notebook, PW. From here, the company begins their experiments.
I want this
Harley
book. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna search it up really quick on Amazon. Poppy Playtime. Oh my god, they even have like the Poppy Playtime Smiling Critters, and they are like nearly $50. What a freak! It's like $10. Poppy Playtime 101 Dalmatians? What the heck is this? Oh no, this book looks hype. And it's like 144 pages? Wow. Okay, I might get it.
Takes the new scientists to observe and study the Poppy doll that he remembered being in the storage bay from his days in the Young Geniuses program. He told them to use her as the blueprint to bring toys to life.
I am the cause. Being able to exist as a doll, it has killed so many people.
Everyone works diligently to try and recreate the magic of this one Poppy doll. But after 814 experiments, it's clear that things aren't working with simple rats. They need to try something bigger. They need to repeat what Elliot did. They need to use children. Harley delivers the note to Elliot as one of his many updates on the program. But once again, Elliot
that's pretty base.
Up until the
I'm assuming it was smoking it. All merch, regardless, is like 10 times the price it costs to make. Oh no, for sure. I couldn't buy the book because I don't have money. I felt that. Me too.
this point,
I know that the plushies had, or like Catnap specifically had smoke, because we also see the smoke in game. We do see, so we know that there is smoke from it, but like, I'm sure the dogs and cats can like smell like the smoke before it actually comes out. They should have like their own. I'm pretty sure they have their own website. Me store. Oh my god. Plush pillow. That's so cute. $32. $32. Oh, that is crazy work. These look really good though. Oh, this pillow looks so comfortable. Pianosaurus. Oh, I like this so much. Okay, lock in.
These experiments weren't really all that bad. It was just a few hundred rats that suffered the consequences. But now he had a choice to make. He'd spent his life trying to bring joy to children, to give them a home, somewhere they could grow and overcome the odds. Harley still
Justice for
couldn't believe
Pianosaurus.
this soft old man. What is more important to you, these children or the business you've spent decades building, which people rely on for their own families? Mortality is just a curse on humanity anyway. If we can figure this out, all these orphans who had suffered would never grow old or sick. They could live forever and keep bringing joy to other children for centuries to come. It was not an easy decision, but this argument from Harley does sway Elliot. With that permission
Of
in hand,
course.
the senior staff of Playtime Co. set about building the Game Station, a facility designed to test the orphans' physical
Which
and mental
Stella was
abilities,
in charge
pairing
of.
them with a specific toy, and if they were deemed ready, taken away for conversion.
They'd come for games and never come back.
As part of this process, they utilized the red smoke that they made for the catnap toy. Where previously poppy gels had failed, gas is a much
Poppy
more effective
gels?
way of getting the mystical powers of the poppy flower that help
Oh.
bring Poppy to life into the bodies of these orphans. They installed shower heads throughout the playcare to distribute the gas, but it wasn't the most effective solution. Kids could see them and what they were doing. They became wary of going to bed. An alternate solution would need to be found. However, they had other problems to deal with. Over the last few years, there had been one employee that had been causing Playtime Co. a lot of trouble. They weren't ruining their plans as such, they were just a bit of an administrative
Was it
headache.
Lee
That
Pierre?
man was Rich Lovett.
Never mind.
Initially, he was working in the storage room and he seemed to be on board with the general Playtime mission, appreciating the good this company did for the orphans. Sadly though, Rich had a habit of losing his temper with management,
No.
and so he was demoted to the rejected toy room, which, as you might imagine, he took really well.
After years of being ignored, the company actually heard all my complaints. I guess my words must have really inspired them to take action, because the next day I got demoted down here to the freaking island of misfit toys!
So the voice acting is so
Of
good.
course, Playtime Co. had to demote him again, putting him to work in construction in the caves beneath the factory. Down here, in relative
And we
solitude,
also saw like there was like another thing that I felt was just so odd. Besides like the again, I already mentioned this, but like it felt like that the transitioning from like the actual Puppy Playtime like facility to then seeing like the orphanage, and like that they had a school, they had all these things, and then we also saw the mines, which I felt was also so like it felt like a lot. Like it felt like there was a lot being thrown in, and I just felt so confused and felt like almost like it didn't match. I don't know. I just felt like there was just so much going on. Because I wasn't expecting to see an orphanage, or that they even made an orphanage. Which is among the most interesting characters I looked in this world. The mines were also like, I don't know, it felt like when we saw the mines, it was like an entirely new world. It just felt like I wasn't even really playing Poppy Playtime anymore. Everything just felt
he was
like a
able
lot.
to recognize his shortcomings and, with the help of his new supervisor, began to improve, even to the point of getting promoted. At first, this seemed great for Playtime Co. A reformed employee. The system worked. That was until Rich continued being promoted and began learning what was really going on with the orphans. He cared for these kids. That was the one good thing he had going for him from the beginning. And so, he begins flying off the handle once again. The problem was now he knew too much. He could actually cause a problem for Playtime Co. if he went to the authorities. They couldn't just fire him anymore. They needed to get rid of him. And with the Bigger Bodies initiative well underway, as well as Harley's requests for bigger subjects, they had an idea. They took Rich and used him as a guinea pig, turning him into the first semi-successful experiment 1006, which they dubbed the prototype.
What? So Rich is the prototype? Wait. Why? I thought there's no way. well, I don't know about nice. He did have a low temper. He did, well, supposedly he did have a low temper. I mean, but he was becoming better. There's no proof yet. There's no proof yet of this.
Type. Not a toy as such, more a mix of mechanical and biological parts. It lacked the ability to speak, but was able to mimic voices of others to communicate. Playtime Co. was
No way.
finally seeing success and removing a problem at the same time. But Rich, now 1006, wouldn't forget what had been done to him, nor what they were doing to the orphans. He just needed to bide his time and wait for the right moment to strike. Playtime Co. continued their development of the bigger bodies, but they struggled to find the success they'd had with 100.
All these are prototype, but whoever the prototype is still unknown. Okay.
06, usually unable to reactivate their brains after surgery. That is when Harley decided to try something different. He decided to make the bigger body physically bigger, rather than just trying to match the size of the test subject. It flew in the face of all logic, but he needed to try something, and the crazy part is, it worked. They created Experiment 1160, Boxy Boo, and this discovery opened up a new world of possibilities for the future. At this point, several orphans are showing...
So it's just a theory that he's the prototype, but there's no way it's
promise in the
there's
game
no
station.
way.
Although there was one that caught Harley's attention specifically, Quinn Navidson. He was a pretty average kid, except he had a strange obsession with removing the heads off of all of his toys. However, Harley didn't see this disposition as a weakness. It was something he could take advantage of, manipulate to get his scores higher and make him a more successful bigger body down the road. Harley spends some one-on-one time with Quinn, convincing him that he understands Quinn better than most, and
There's evidence that supported it, but it's not 100%. Because I can't imagine that it would be like. I understand that they needed to get rid of him. That would make sense if they were trying to get rid of him and they were trying, like, instead of just killing him and letting him go to waste, that they would use him to, like, make something else. But no, I can't imagine him being the prototype.
Him to just simply apply himself at the next assessment. And next time, Quinn's scores did improve in most areas, although his intelligence seemed to wane a bit, but not enough to stop the inevitable. In August 1990, Quinn became Experiment 1.
Yellow means it's likely but not 100%. Red means there's no proof, but it checks out in the story. Okay, thank you, Trent, because
strong, agile.
I wasn't sure what, like, because I did see it change a few times, but I wasn't too sure of what that meant.
Swift, but his intelligence still wasn't where Harley wanted it. He saw him more like a dog, which, while not ideal, could be useful for protection. The more bigger bodies they made, the more things there were.
Oh no! Did you guys see this clip? Did you guys see this clip of a boxing? Because this shit was this shit was fire. Oh my god, this shit was fire. I really, oh my god. I know that he's in the Project Playtime, but he'd have been so good at, like, in the actual games. Okay, sorry. My mommy came into the room. Boxy Boo is canon in the Puppet Pizza Beast. Oh, I know he's canon. I know. But I'm saying is, like, I really, really, really would have liked if they put him in the chapters. No, my mom came in because she was asking me some questions. Because like, some family related stuff had happened. And she was asking me something. But we're good. I'm back. Sorry. But no, Boxy Boo was, the thing is, like, I genuinely thought next chapter could be him, not sure though. I hope so. I hope to soon play the Poppy Playtime, or Project Playtime. I hopefully I can play that soon with my friends. But I genuinely thought that Boxy Boo was gonna be so much smaller. And then when I saw this clip of like what his box alone looks like, I was like, holy crap, he's gigantic.
Word that could kill him and stop his progress. So Harley isolated Yarnaby, making Yarnaby loyal only to him. Around that same time, another orphan named Theodore Granbell began causing some mischief in the playcare, breaking
Wait, did it say that Yarnaby is loyal to Boxy?
agile, swift, but his intelligence still wasn't.
A bit of bugs. I have heard that. Like, I also heard that some people were complaining about Project Playtime, about how it's very buggy, and it's not that great, but it's still worth playing.
Wanted it.
I think it even has like mixed reviews right now.
He saw him more like a dog, which, while not ideal, Quinn's scores did improve in most areas, although his intelligence seemed to wane a bit, but not enough to stop the inevitable. In August 1990, Quinn became Experiment 1166, Yarnaby. He was strong.
Look at Project Playtime trailer. You will see Boxy real size. Isn't also Yarnaby merged? And I'm pretty sure Yarnaby was the one that has like, I think, 3 people. So it's because Project P is early access and free. Oh, so they're still working on it.
Thing he could take advantage of, manipulate to get his scores higher and make him a more successful bigger body down the road. Harley spends some one-on-one time with Quinn, convincing him that he understands.
It's Doey. Doey, yes, you're right. Sorry, that is my bad. It is Doey. Doey has 3 people, and I remember that one of them was a kid that was he had a lot of anger issues. He had really bad anger issues, but he was a very strong, and that's what they wanted, somebody who was both strong and emotionally intelligent, but he would get very angry very easily, but he showed like great scores and like strength it was, and then they merged him in Doey with like 2 other people, and that's why like when we saw him in chapter 4, Doey just like went crazy. So this is Quinn. Okay. For Poppy, wait, no, Project Playtime. Project. Let's watch this one really quick. See his size. Oh, I've seen this one actually. I love how blue they made him. And this looks so good. Oh no. He looks like a candy. And I just want to take a bite. Oh yeah, and they added like the blood. Holy crap. They made him so glossy. Oh! And he's there waiting for you. Now here it looks a little smaller. In the video, in the VHS tape, he looked big. Big boy. Holy. Nah, that's a big boy. That's a big boy. Nah, he's gigantic. And the thing is, like again, in the VHS tape that they show us here, he looks like the box looks bigger. It just looks so much
Quinn
bigger.
better than most, and asking him to just simply apply himself at the next assessment. And next time, Quinn's scores did improve in most areas, although his intelligence seemed to wane a bit, but not enough to stop the inevitable. In August 1990, Quinn became Experiment 1166.
Yarnaby.
He was strong, agile, swift, but his intelligence still wasn't where Harley wanted it. He saw him more like a dog, which, while not ideal, could be useful for protection.
Right. Yarnaby is loyal to Harley.
The more bigger bodies they made, the more things there were that could kill him and stop his progress. So Harley isolated Yarnaby, making Yarnaby loyal only to him. Around that same time, another orphan named Theodore Granville began causing some mischief in the playcare, breaking into rooms, stealing files,
Is this the
even
guy with the
stealing
anger
a
issues?
grab pack. When questioned about it, he just said it was his friend that told him to do those things. The staff just assume this friend is of the imaginary persuasion, but in reality, it was very
No,
real.
this was
1006
Harley.
had found a way out
Oh,
of
prototype.
containment and was using Theo to help them escape. Once it had
Yes,
all
it
the
was prototype,
information,
I remember.
1006 and Theo made a break for it. Though, due to Theo's inexperience, he accidentally
He shocked himself.
overcharges the electrified grab pack hand and electrocutes himself. At this moment, 1006 has a choice. Gain the freedom it wants or save Theo. It chooses the latter. It gives Theo over to the Playtime Co scientists and turns itself in to be locked away once again. Now, there is only one way the scientists are able to save Theo, and on November 11th, 1990, the bigger body Catnap was born. Experiment 1188. He was put into the playcare because he was able to release the red gas just like the toy, and the kids would, hopefully, be much less suspicious of this big friendly toy than a typical showerhead. Again, Playtime Co. was killing two birds with one stone. The bigger bodies initiative was now in full swing. Between Catnap and Yarnaby, Huggy was created, and in 1991, he was put to work as Playtime Co.'s new security measure, though his wandering eyes were noticed by an employee who wasn't supposed to know anything. Rowan Stoll. Rowan wanted to get to the bottom of what was going on, and over the course of a few months, began to figure out exactly what Playtime Co. was doing. When he threatened to leak what he'd found to the public, Harley put his bigger bodies to good use.
Now, we need to start tailoring that appetite of yours to flesh. Get an update on the situation, Rowan Stoll.
That same year, another orphan, Marie Payne, began suffering from unwakeable nightmares thanks to Catnap's gas, leading to the latest experiment we know of to date. Experiment 1222, Mummy Longlegs. She was violent towards the staff, but kind towards the kids, making her the perfect guardian for the game station. And by May of 1992, the game station is in its heyday. Everything is working as planned. But one person is still causing problems. Elliot Ludwig had put a picture up in his office that one of the kids had given him of the game station and Mummy Longlegs. But when he sat there and looked at it, those decisions that had led to this point, they began to weigh heavy on his shoulders. He still felt that Harley's pursuit of innovation for the sake of it wasn't right, but the rest of the senior team seemed to be all for him, and it was hard to deny that the company was seeing success. Regardless, he knew he needed to put some kind of safety measure in place.
Okay, the thing is, like, because, I mean, it's in the red, right? And if we remember correctly, red means that there's no proof, but it checks out of the story. It seems like he was a lot more sympathetic than how I feel he was. Because at the end of the day, there were kids being tested on. There were kids that were beaten, that were dying, that were, you know, being stuffed into toys, right? But here they're making it seem like, oh, he felt guilt. He was so sorry. He's such a sorry little kawaii girl. Buddy, kids died.
Something to keep Harley in check, just in case his worst fears came true. So he promoted one of the fellow scientists and Young Geniuses graduate, Dr. Bruno White, to become Harley's superior. Once Harley found out, he could think of this as nothing more than another betrayal from Elliot. And this time, he'd had enough. Elliot was too soft to keep things moving forward. He needed to be got rid of, just like every other problem employee they'd faced. One day, both the staff and the public were informed that Elliot Elliot Ludwig had passed away, but Harley Sawyer was the only one who knew the truth about what happened. Thanks to Dr. White's promotion, Harley's involvement in things slowly became less and less.
If you think about it, he thought that he was making the world a better place for kids and kids in the future. So in his mind, what he was doing wasn't wrong. Still messed up what he did. Oh no, for sure. It was just
leading
awful.
Harley to become more and more frustrated and driving him more and more insane.
But the thing is, at least like how the game was going, especially like in chapter 1 and 2, it definitely, because we now know that it's more of like Harley's plan, because he was the one that's a lot more invested into the company and like the research and everything. But I feel like the game heavily portrayed it to be that it was Elliot, that he was the one that wanted this, that wanted to experiment on kids, that wanted to spend less money, make more money, and that, you know, killing the children off and then turning them into workers. It just seemed more like it was like all his plan.
Until one day he decided to take matters into
This is the hour
his
of
own
joy.
hands. During a guided tour of the factory in 1993, fires break out in the theater, causing casualties all across the facility. Obviously,
I don't think we've ever seen this. The theater? Elliot was just really gaslighted by others.
Leith Pierre is furious. Now he has to clean up the mess, taking care of any potential
This theater also looks like Indigo Park in the Theater of the Lion, which if you haven't watched that stream, you definitely should. But hold up. Indigo Park Theater. Look. This is the theater incident was a massacre. But look at this. This is literally Indigo Park. They're like, I don't remember seeing a single theater in the game. This is like, it's like the same thing. Not in the game, but in ARG. What's an ARG?
witnesses. This is not the kind of publicity Playtime needed. He brings back their private investigator Jared to figure out who is to blame, and true to his word, he gets them an answer.
Dr. Harley Sawyer.
After spouting rhetoric about one bad day and being betrayed by Elliot all of those years ago, Harley had finally gone full Joker and set the theater ablaze, baptizing
Ultra reality game, I see.
everyone in the flames that he was working so hard to save them all from with his Bigger Bodies initiative. As Leith had suggested, Harley needed to be punished, but he can't justify the usual methods. Harley is an undeniable genius, and it would be a shame to lose such a brilliant mind when they definitely still needed him. The Bigger Bodies, while alive, were temperamental and hard to control. They needed to keep perfecting the process. This also meant turning Harley into a bigger body wasn't an option either, as he too would likely lose his mind. And that was when it hit them. Instead of turning Harley into a bigger body, why not turn Harley into a digital consciousness? They could focus all their attention.
Which I also want to say, when I was playing the 4th chapter, they made him out to be like another very fearful boss. They made him to be someone that's very scary. They made him out to be like a lot of things. I felt like that scene, like that boss scene of the doctor was very underwhelming. I didn't feel that it was very scary. I didn't feel that it was very what's the word? I just didn't feel like that was as strong as it should have been. Because I mean, he's the doctor. He is basically like, of course, Elliot Ludwig is the owner of Playtime Co., right? But it felt more like it was like the company belonged to Harley, if anything. Like he had a lot more ambition for the science parts, which was, I can't lie, everything was crazy. He's psychotic. But it definitely seems that they updated the game. That's why the recent reviews are positive. Well, I haven't seen how the more recent reviews have been, but I definitely felt that Harley's scene as like the doctor was very underwhelming. I also felt that it was incredibly short. Like it was really, really short. I felt like a lot of the other characters had a lot more screen time. And I also feel like they were like pushing it, like the fourth game, to be like about the doctor a little bit. But his story or like his screen time ended up being, and also just a lot shorter. Most bugs are fixed, more polished cutscenes, and more aggressive doctor boss fight. I see. But yes, I won't make the mistake again of playing a game on its release date. Because I really liked Poppy Playtime and I couldn't wait to play it. But for future reference of not just Poppy Playtime, for any game, I won't play it on release date. I will give it like a week or two. So that when they do all those fixes, it's a lot more enjoyable. Because I felt like there was a lot of bugs, but I also felt like maybe I was just low-key bad at the game. But no, I feel like he should have been... His part should have just been more impactful.
Tension on keeping his mind alive without the need for a working body. That way, Harley could still help them and guide the scientific process, but he couldn't physically cause any problems. It was perfect. By 1994, this plan is underway. The party line is that Harley is just out, maybe on a sabbatical or something. And in 1995, the new Playtime automated companion is up and running, ready to meet with scientists like PW. The system would end up being shut down after May of that year, but regardless, it was another success for Playtime Co. However, as we've seen time and time again, pride cometh before the fall, and this next fall would be the biggest Playtime had ever seen. Behind the scenes, while Playtime Co. had been dealing with Harley, 1006 had been plotting. They'd been gathering all the toys together and promising them the thing they all wanted: freedom. They formulated a plan to take back the factory from Playtime and kill all those who'd helped turn them into monsters. They called it the Hour of Joy, and on August 8th, 1995, they executed.
Okay, because when I was planning today's stream, I was looking at videos and I was, of course, you may know, making my little board here, which, I will ask you guys later in the server what you guys thought of today's stream, because I don't, we'll talk about it later in today's, in the Discord, right? But something that I was thinking about before, or like while I was making before I was making the board, was what is the coincidence that the person that we play as is the absolute only employee who didn't show up that day? Because this is a very big company, right? This is a super big company. How is it that we were the only person that did not show up? Which was making me think, like, is it possible that there were other employees and that they also reached out to those employees before me? And that if we died, they would have just reached out to, like, other employees that didn't make it and then see who can actually get the truth together and then expose the company? I probably just didn't make any sense, right? But, like, let's say that there are 5 employees that actually made, like, that did not show up that day and basically lived. Are we really the only person, or did they contact other people that did survive, sent them there, they didn't survive, so they eventually got to us and be like, hey, you survived, haha, teehee, come to the place and figure out the truth. I need you to expose the truth. In chapter 3, in the dream sequence, there you will find your answer. Man, it's been so long, it's been months. I think some people did not show up, but they moved on. Chapter 3, dream sequence. Is the one where they're in the house? Oh, this one? There is an audio in reverse. Because in my opinion, every single person that was at work went missing on the same day. I'm not going back. Because, like, I can't imagine, like, we were just somehow the only person that did not go to work. I'm sure many of them moved on. The first part. First part. When you enter Home Sweet Home. I don't know, that's how I feel anyway. That there were definitely other people that made it out and that we weren't the first person they contacted. We're just the only person that's gotten this far. But I also feel like they would have given some kind of hints of that, right? They're like, oh, you're not the first or something. But still, I can't fathom that we were the only person that they contacted. Not this. The PT hall sequence. Is it this one? Oh. Oh my god. Home swing home. Oh, what the hell? Audio. Okay, let's see. Home sweet home audio in reverse.
I find your presence intrusive. After all this time you return. You come in here and you kill and murder. You pillage and destroy. Your presence was demanded 10 years ago and you didn't show up. 8/8/1995. You were supposed to be here. Why weren't you here? You missed the event. You missed the meeting. You missed the party. You have no right to be here. 8/8/1995.
Is that the one that you mean? Your presence was demanded 10 years ago when you didn't show up. Really gives a feeling that 10 years ago was the last you saw of Playtime Co., the most magical toy factory. So it does heavily make it sound like we were the only person that did not show up. But I don't know, just like a part of me just can't believe that. Out of all the thousands of employees they have, that we were just one out of thousands that just did not show up that day. I just can't fathom it. I just cannot fathom it.
Executed that plan. They attack everyone. Scientists, tour guides, construction workers. It didn't matter. They were all responsible. They all needed to die. The toys drag the bodies into the depths and slowly consume them to satiate their hunger. Only a small few managed to escape the carnage, Leith Pierre being one of them. Despite the insane loss the company was facing, he kept insisting Playtime Co. continue their work. He began recruitment efforts for a resource extraction team, people that would go back into Playtime Co. and collect the parts they needed to keep making bigger bodies. But eventually, the rising pressure from the public over the mysterious disappearance of the staff, their friends and family, was too much for even Leith to handle, and he shut.
Ooh, something that I really want them to do in like the next game is show more like news reports, like news stations covering the story of the factory. Oh my god.
Shut down the factory for good.
You're just starting to
Nearly
enter the
a
rabbit hole?
decade passed, and the Playtime
Gotta
Co.
start
factory,
somewhere.
as well as all that happened there, had largely been forgotten. The world had simply moved on. But in 2002, deep in the bowels of the factory, something or someone was coming back online. Harley had awoken from his mysterious slumber. Ironically, just as he'd always stated, his conversion had actually saved him from death. Unlike his former colleagues, he realized the opportunity he had. There was no one left to stop him. His plans.
Some kind of dialogue from like our character would be really nice. But also it's like, I want to know exactly what role our character had. Because let's say that we were the only one that just didn't show up, right? I want to know how big of a role we actually had in the company. Like, how important were we truly? Like, how close were we to Stella? How close were we to Harley? How close were we to Elliot? Both probably in janitors. No, probably. Oh, we're like cleaning toilets. We got sick. We caught something. We stayed home, and then everybody died. We are definitely important. I would hope so. But I think it'd also be pretty funny if they just low-key said, "Yeah, you were like a janitor. Here's how to make the big bucks." expose this place, we're gonna make millions. I thought that'd be pretty funny. Okay, that'd be greatly funny. Miss Delight recognizes us, also Mommy Longlegs. So no, we had some kind of like big role, but I do wonder what that role is. Like, just who were we? We were definitely either a scientist or an executive. We'll just have to hope. Oh man, the next game should be the last one, right? Copy Playtime Chapter 5. Will it be the last one? So the ending of Chapter 4 is basically set up to Chapter 5 as the finale of the Poppy Playtime saga. We could have been one of those people that tested on the kids or the guards. I don't think we tested on the kids. I haven't gotten that vibe. I don't get that vibe at all from what we've played that we tested anything on kids. But I can't say that we were, I doubt that we were innocent, but I don't think we did that. It's just, at least from like what I played, I don't get that that feeling. Because Poppy was also like wanting to protect the kids, right? And so was Joey. We met a lot of characters that wanted to protect not just the kids, but like the kids that ended up staying us. So like Joey, for example, he was very passionate about protecting the kids. I feel like Poppy, Joey, like those characters that cared about the kids would have reacted very violently towards us. I don't true. If we tested on the kids, Poppy would be really mad at us or the others for sure. That's what I'm saying. Like Joey would have, especially Joey, would have been a great. Like I don't think he would have ever forgotten us. I don't think, like, a lot of the characters just seem, we seem almost neutral. Like, we weren't part of the experiment, but I don't think we were also innocent. We could also just be a very ignorant, like, intentionally ignorant character, where we knew it was going up, but we pretended like we didn't. And maybe the toys, or, like, the toys just believed that we didn't know anything. Because, like, to me, that's a little bit more believable, because I don't think that we would have any, what's it called? Any friends. I don't think we would have anyone that would want to protect us, or, like, help us at all. We probably knew about it, but wanted no part of it, and just minded our business. Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. We just stayed very ignorant. Like, we knew, but we're just like, oh, well, I'm not... I don't actually know anything, but I like, low-key know. That's what I feel is maybe, because we seem rather neutral. But I do want to know if that's gonna be, okay. Oh, there's so much. We need to know who the prototype is. I strongly do believe that it's gonna be Elliot Ludwig. We also need to know who we are, what our role is.
To continue, he could save the rest of humanity from their mortal coil and convert them all into living, eternal toys. So he began hacking into the rest of Playtime Co.'s systems, taking control of all communications that were coming in and out of the factory. His plan would come to fruition. At the same time, the bigger bodies also remained in the factory, waiting for the prototype to save them as promised. But food supplies were running short. Some of them began to lose their faith that salvation would ever come. Dog Day was one such toy. And one.
Oh my god, I love Dog Day. No, oh my god. That's my brother, chat. That's my brother. Look at Dog Day, it's my brother. I was really sad when we couldn't save him. And then he like low-key chased us for like a little bit. Dog Day was such a choke. He was such a choke guy. He really just was that guy. Oh, I don't know if you guys ever heard that theory, because I don't know. I think I can't remember if I read this from a YouTube comment or if one of my viewers told me during my stream when I got to the scene of Chapter 4. But people were saying that, like, during the, what's it called? Little Critters commercial, that dog... Oh. That during the Little Critters commercial, Dog Days has a blanket on that covers his legs. but like to either basically foreshadow that he was gonna lose his legs or that he had already lost them when the commercial was playing. Like a lump. Was that you, Proxima, by chance? Because I can't remember who said that. If it was either on stream or I read that on a YouTube comment.
The wind's really scary. I can't sleep.
Hey, we'll be okay,
Like,
guys.
look here. That he was already, like, covering
Promise.
his feet.
All winds blow away.
And we don't actually ever see his feet. The artist herself did point that out, that it was foreshadowing. Yeah, that's what I thought. But I thought that was so sad.
Help us go to sleep, Catnap.
Because we see them all standing here. But we never see Dog Day get up or like make any... Look, see? They're all standing, smiling. But he's still on the bed. Like, look. And we were also saying that, like, look, this position was the same way that you find him. Poppy, Playtime, Dog Days. That it's in the same, like, arm position of when you find him. Like, this one. Look, this is, like, art, but, like, this is, like, when you actually find him. That he was already in the cartoon in the same position. Which I thought, like, that felt, like, after, if it was either on stream or, like, after stream, I was just like, ah,
1-006
He deserved
quickly
better.
made an example of him. This type of threat, however, wouldn't work forever, and 1006 knew that. It needed to make progress. It was still trying to create its perfect body, but it just didn't have the know-how. Rich was just a simple construction worker. Sure, he could do some cool things with tech, but biology was a whole other ballgame. It needed help. So, in 2005, it writes a note saying that the employees that went missing were actually still in the factory, waiting to be rescued. And it sends it to the only person that's not only around to hear it, but would actually care enough to make the trip. The player character, PW. PW didn't show up for work on August 8th, 1995. They were still alive, and more importantly, they actually cared about their fellow employees. If there was a chance their colleagues were still around, they needed to help them. Now, as a former employee, they knew their way around the factory. They knew where this flower was that they'd been pointed to. They just had to get there, while also trying to avoid an unpleasant reunion with one of the many bigger bodies they'd helped create. Huggy Wuggy. PW finds Poppy behind the flower, in the same room she always was. Although there are now messages around the...
I'm assuming this isn't gonna be 100% just yellow. But no, like, Huggy would have been such a cute, like, Neko girl.
room,
Is that just me?
warning them not to trust her. Regardless, once they open
guys
the
didn't
case,
see, like, that hip
Poppy
sway?
agrees to help PW escape. See, she's not that bad at all. Only Mummy then shows up and kidnaps Poppy. After beating
No, she
all of
snatched
Mummy's
her.
games,
I'm not gonna lie.
PW returns to Poppy and takes her to the train, only for Poppy to now change her mind and stop PW from leaving.
Sorry, I can't let you leave.
They
Not only that, but if you guys remember, she was willing to let all of the toys die. And then that's when her and Doi got into an argument. Because, as she says, and we find out that it's like, or specifically like how she told him, it's like the only way to get rid of like the doctor and all of the toys from like escaping and like causing harm elsewhere is to basically just nuke the entire place and get rid of everything. And then Doi was not messing with that. I hate Poppy. I smelled the op. I smelled it. Trust me, I did. I was like, is she friend? I don't think so. But chat said she was friend, so I was like, okay, I trust chat. Never again.
really should have trusted the signs. The train crashes in front of the playcare, and with some surprising help from Poppy, Kissy Missy, and their ally Ollie, who may or may not be the prototype mimicking a child's voice to trick us, PW makes their way through the playcare. Together,
love the
they
Playcare.
defeat Catnap and begin the long trip down into Playtime's
wife.
prison. But Kissy doesn't make the trip. She is killed by something on their way down.
I
And
refuse to believe
all
that.
of this time...
I refuse to believe that Kissy's dead. I swear. No, if the game ends and Kissy does not come back, straight up, I'm writing a bad review on every game, on all the chapters. I'm not even gonna lie. Yamato. I'm feeling good. This is my first reaction stream. Also, Yamato, if you're interested, I recently opened a Discord server so that all my viewers and members can go there and then we can all chat. But I'm feeling good. The stream is coming to a close soon, but still. I don't know how the story would end. I don't know either. I would assume that they would tell us who the prototype is, that who we are, what our role is, what we did, like why are we so important, why we decide, because like I get that we care about our employees, what they do, but like why are we here? Like if it's been so long, why do we still care? And like just exactly how much did we know? Because we seem to be in the neutral like gray spot as of right now. That's where we seem to be. But I don't know how this would end. Well, if you're interested in joining, it'll be in the stream description. It'll also be on the YouTube, like, account description. So feel free to if you'd like. There's definitely going to be so many unanswered questions. I hope so. Like, I would hate it if they end the game with just, like... Because, I don't know. I still feel like there was just so much that went into, like, the 3rd and 4th game. With, like, the whole, playtime... with like the play care, like the orphanage, and then we went to the mines, and I don't know, there's just so much. I just felt like I was playing like different games a lot of the time, but I really do hope that Kissy's alive, because that, oh my god. But she doesn't die here. That's what, like, this is incorrect, because this isn't the last time we see Kissy. Imagine they end the story on a cliffhanger. I mean, they do that with every single chapter. Yes, but supposedly the last game should be the finale. So if they do it on a cliffhanger, I don't think it makes sense. I think it'd just be like, that'd be pretty bad. How are you gonna end like the finale with like a cliffhanger? I would understand if they left it on a like leave it up to your interpretation kind of ending. Where, oh, I'm gonna give you two things that could possibly have happened, but we're gonna let you choose the ending that you like better rather than us concluding the ending for you. You know what I mean? Like, if they decide to do that, then it's like, okay. Does tried bit too hard? What do you mean, Yamato? You mean PW? Yes, I think that's our name, PW. But this isn't the last time we see Kissy, because I remember the last time we see Kissy was when Ollie told Poppy, like, hey, you have this amount of time before I, like, blow this area up. And then she abandons me and Kissy, and then Kissy sacrifices herself to us. Do we all remember that? Look, Poppy betrays Kissy. So they did say they planned like 5 to 6 chapters for this game, so I wouldn't be surprised if they ended in chapter 5. Well, so far that's what it said, that they would end on chapter 5, or like that's what it seems. Look.
The prototype, did you even plant the explosives? Ollie! Ollie, answer me! Please.
Look at her. She's so beat up, man.
Something's gone horribly wrong. The safe haven...
Shelf ventilation block B6. Is this where you are, Poppy?
What?
Look how they are my wife.
There you are.
And listen closely.
What was also made me so mad is that you're telling me that after all these years, Poppy didn't like come up with like her own game plan. She just solely relied. She solely relied on Ollie! Are you kidding me? She relied on him and him only, and that was it. His word was like, how does the phrase go? Or how does it go? Like, his word was just law. Look at Kissy when she realizes it's a prototype.
You're not going to run.
Her eyes are like, oh.
You're not going to fight. The charade.
No, that made me so scared. That she was shaking.
Who is this?
Oh, if you look here, doesn't her leg almost look broken? Look at that. It doesn't even feel like it's put together. What the?
Obvious question with an obvious.
But no, I felt so bad for Kissy.
You. What did you do with Ollie?
I
right here, Poppy. For you. I'll always be here.
No, she died.
The doctor, Catnap, Mommy and Huggy, they're all dead. You have nothing now. No one. And soon, you'll have less than that.
Stop that. You don't need to pretend anymore.
I just couldn't fathom how she never thought this was possible.
You can come home.
How much do you know?
She doesn't feel like she's cooked. She knows she's cooked.
Right. All those years.
And she just heavily
Was
relied
there
on him.
ever
I
an
hate that
Ollie?
so much, man.
Yes, there was. But that was a very long time ago.
Let me tell you what comes next.
It's okay, Yamato. Don't worry.
I'm going to come up there, and I'm going to find you.
Your collaborators.
The few you have left.
If you do plan to join the Discord, Yamato, I'll be posting notifications there whenever I stream. And like I'll be posting there's gonna be an events tab where I'll also post like my streams as well.
You will be dealt with.
Because I know sometimes it can be very like difficult to find
What
the
are you going
schedules.
to do with me?
I've got something special in mind.
I prepared it just for you.
And this one, you will never want to leave.
No.
I just want to also like what's crazy is that this ventilation was perfectly sized for just her.
This entire time. You've lied to me.
Only because you've kept
Missing the point.
I've taken the liberty of retrieving those explosives from the Foundation. Thanks for collecting them.
Those, by the way, I've put them to good use. I admit, though, I'm disappointed.
After all that time in your case, I'd hoped you'd see things
Damn.
Don't you understand?
It's always been about you
And we'll harm you. What we are. That's not a
Lots of people spamming adult. No. No. You do not have to worry about that. My server will be nothing of that. It will be nothing of that. Oh no. There's many rules in the server to not have that kind of thing. I would never promote such activities.
can be brought away. No, not when it can mean so much more.
Prototype. Please.
It's time to come home.
Poppy.
My server is good, and you tell them, friend.
To come home.
I can't go back in the case. I can't. I'm sorry.
It's okay, Proximo. Take your time. Look at that. She just. No. Shut up. You see how Kissy like ran? Look, not ran, but like look. She saw her and she was like, "What?" Look at that. You saw how she put like her fist on the wall. Oh, no, that's betrayal. GG's. I'd kill her. I'm not gonna lie. I'd grab her by her ponytails. Gone.
Some friend, huh?
Don't worry, I'll find her.
Kissy.
As for you two, try to land on your feet.
Look at that. She should have come down with us. I'm not even gonna lie. She should have just came down with us. But that's why I don't think she's dead. I don't think so. Also, here we should have died. I'm not even gonna lie. We like forehead straight into the rock. We should have died. I don't know. There's no way. There's just no way. I would have taken her hand, by the way. I would have taken her hand and carried it with me to the freaking grave. It's my wife. I wouldn't just leave my wife's hand like that. The hand that saved us. Are you kidding me? I'm surviving that personally. No, you're not. That is at least minimum like 15-20 feet. Forehead to the rock. Absolutely not. Well, like it's like saying that if you could survive that, they should have survived this. They should have survived this. Let's put it that way. If you can survive that, they should have survived this. Did they? No, they did not. Most of the negatives I've seen for the game is that they tend to try a bit too hard on their seriousness, and gameplay is a bit boring, since the story most wanted the story to end. I can't, at least for me, I didn't find the gameplay boring. I just found it sometimes confusing and a bit overwhelming. Because, like, I don't know, I didn't feel like they prepared. At least, like, I didn't feel that way. Maybe I just missed clues that would have, like, prepared me better for the third game. But when I was going into when I finished the second game, I really was not prepared for chapter 3. Like, them talking about the orphanage and, like, how they were, like, I understood that they were experimenting on children, but I didn't, like, I don't know, I didn't feel like I was prepared for that. And then chapter 4, when we discover the mines and, like, the almost, like, where they also imprisoned some of the toys, because, like, we also see jail cells. I wasn't prepared for that either. I wasn't prepared for the jail cells. I wasn't prepared for the mines. I feel like there was just a lot of things that they were bringing into the games that I didn't feel like it's the gameplay, as some said, just not just the bugs, but it's underwhelming. I didn't feel that way. I really did like the gameplay. I just felt the story was a bit all over the place at sometimes, and that again, it just felt like it just felt like I was playing like two separate games that were like collaborating. I'm just surviving everything because I'm that good. Oh, yeah. I'm just saying, if you can survive that, Beth and Hannah should have survived the fall. Most of I've seen at least ends up not liking the gameplay wise. They do like the story. I liked both. I think that chapter 4 was my least favorite. I definitely liked chapter 2 and 3. I think maybe 2 might have been my I don't know. I really like the, I do like when we see the orphanage. And I liked Miss Delight. And I also like Kissy. So, I liked Kissy. I think those are my two favorite characters. Miss Delight and Kissy. So I really liked that part of the game. But I think I had the most fun was with chapter 2. Like, I felt like chapter 2 had a lot more thrill to it. While chapter 3 and 4 felt a little less, thrilling. Like, I didn't feel as intense. Like, for example, in I think it was chapter 1 or 2, when we get chased in the tunnels by Huggy Wuggy, like, that has a lot of thrill. Like, that has me like on my toes. You know, we're trying to like run from him. There's like a lot of thrill, a lot of excitement. But I didn't really feel that like that much hype in like 3 and 4. Like that much scariness or intensity, that I would say. But that's all I wanted to show was like because it says here that Kissy dies, but it also says finally Poppy Playtime 4 is here and in this timeline between 3 and 4. So here is not where she dies, because we do see her, like, because once we drop there, that's when the game ends, when we enter that little like tube-like place.
Long trip down into
and then when you discover that Huggy Wuggy was alive.
But Kissy doesn't make the trip. She is killed by something on their way down. And all of this time, Harley has been watching through the security cameras, making his way down to the prison just a bit ahead of them to reunite with Yarnaby and lay whatever traps he has in store for us down in the depths, along with the nightmare critters, Pianosaurus, and a toy made from Play-Doh, Doughy the Doughman. And that, loyal theorists, is the entire timeline of Poppy Playtime so far. Whoo, boy, this franchise is getting big. This is...
And I agree, they do have, we do have to just wait for the scripts of, like, what they're gonna bring to chapter 5. But there's a lot of unanswered questions, and I really, really do hope that Kissy's alive. Because I think that'd be very sad if we don't ever see her again. Or that we find out that she's, I think that's gonna be, like, very, at least for me personally, it's gonna be so gut-wrenching if the next time we see her, it's her being merged with the prototype. Like, we just see whatever's left of her onto the prototype. Kissy was the best character? Yes. A billion% yes. Kissy was, and is, no was, that's not past tense, she's alive, is the best character, in my opinion. And I really, 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 really do hope we see her again. What else? Is there anything else that we're missing? Because, like, oh shit. Let me show the Huggy Wuggy coming back. Chapter. You have to move on? Shut up. No. There's no such thing as what do we have to move on from? Huggy Wuggy. What is it? Tell me, what is it to move on from? She's fine. She is fine.
An alarm.
Here. Once we get dropped, look.
So if anyone's home,
I thought this was kissy.
exactly.
I'm not even gonna lie. I remember when I was at this part in the game, I was like jumping up and down my chair. I was like, oh my god, it's kissy. She made it, and then this is where she was gonna like burn and die or something.
Security is very important
But
to us here.
this was not
If
kissy.
I were you, I'd start running.
That was like, eesh. I was like, that is not kissy. But I also just don't know how he survived that. I just can't fathom how he survived. Let's see. Huggy Wuggy. Yeah. Like, I remember, even during stream, it's crazy how a character that did say anything is more likable compared to Poppy that literally yapped the entire series. No, Kissy doesn't have to say anything. It's kind of like how you people say like actions or actions are louder than words. That was Kissy. Didn't say a damn thing, but we loved her because she loved us. No, she was too loyal to Bobby. I'm not even gonna lie. She did not deserve that loyalty. She didn't deserve Kissy. I deserve Kissy. Are you kidding me? I would have done anything for her. I would have sacrificed myself for Kissy. It's not like he has a brain. He just hit his head a couple times. No, yeah, but like, still, we've mind me asking, you tried Garden of Banban series? I have not, but I also wanted to get like, I don't even think I have the first game because I know that the games are out of order. I've heard, but I do plan to play Garden of Banban. I just wanted to get more of the games so that when I play the first game, because I know the first game isn't like long. It's a very short game. So I wanted to get more of the chapters so that I could play like multiple chapters on one stream to just make it longer and not have to like cut the stream within less than like 40 minutes of the first chapter. Kissy is so trustful, and so are we, type shit. I would have done anything for Kissy. Nah, Kissy deserves all the love in the world. But I remember when I even brought it up at the stream where I was like, we never actually saw Huggy die. But my chat was so convinced that he was dead. So I was like, okay. For a moment, I thought you were playing Poppy Playtime. No! I put it in the... What's it called? It's in the... Is it not on the title? No, I already played all of the Poppy Playtimes. If you want to watch them, they're all on the YouTube channel. Because I think they've, at this point, they've definitely expired from, like, the Twitch. But all of my Poppy Playtime streams are on YouTube if you still want to watch them. They're very good. Because I'm in them. That shit. Personally, if I'm kissing while Poppy starts running away, I'm grabbing her back. That's what I'm saying! I would have rubbed her ponytails! Oh my god, how dare she disrespect our Kissy like that? I'd have grabbed her by her pony-ass tail before she even went into that vent. I was so disrespectful. Like, look, this was intense. First to third can be on one stream, fourth to sixth maybe on one stream, 7 to 0 maybe once each, since latest titles are longer. Yes. Cause I did hear a lot of people saying that like 0 was also like not the start of the game. It was like the ending or maybe something like that. I don't know. I do remember people saying, because I was searching up on the game because I did want to play the series, but I remember people saying that like the order was very like mixed. That the orders weren't completely accurate. So I wanted to get all of the games first, then find out the order, and then figure out how I wanted to do the stream from there. Because it just seemed very complicated when people were saying, like, the order of it. Also, thank you, Accelerator, for the follow. If you want to join the Discord, it'll be in the Twitch bio. I recently opened it about 2 days ago, I think. So I'm trying to get, like, as many people to join it And you guys can invite your friends, by the way. You guys should invite your friends, or like people that you would like on the server. We're trying to make the server go big. Trying to make this a big man server. No, we're talking about the order of the Garden of Banban games. It was a meme at first, but then the lore started to pop off and people started to enjoy it. I actually heard that people didn't like the first game. Like, Garden of Banban 1. I heard people saying that, like, it was bad. Like, I didn't hear many, like, good things about it. And then I did see that they were making a lot more games, and then people started to like it a bit more. I don't know why that was, because I don't really know that much about the game. Like, I don't know why people didn't like it, and then eventually did like it. Like, I wasn't in the loop for that. But actually, let me pull up Steam right now and see exactly which of the Garden of Banban games I have. Because I think I have, like, 2 of them, but I don't actually have, like, a lot of the games. Okay, me... Garden... Okay, well, I lied, I have none of them. Oh no, I just have... Okay, I do. I have Garden of Banban and Garden of Banban 0. So I'm assuming Garden of Banban is, like, the first game. Because it doesn't have a number, it just says Garden of Banban. It actually... It wasn't a meme, it was a game, but it had a lot of issues, especially with the brothers, but now it's okay and resolved for most. Okay, let's see. Now it's a meme. Garden of Banban. Wow, there are so many games. There's also Missing Banban. Carding of Banban? Oh my god, there's even a VR! There's actually another game that I've been thinking of playing that I haven't seen anybody talk about, but now that, since you guys are here, and I've been, like, thinking about it, I'll ask you guys. Let me find it really quick. Have you guys ever heard of Mint's Hints? Maybe there's a trailer that we can watch here. Because I want to know what you guys think. Mint's Hints trailer. Okay, this is the... I saw it. It's free on Steam. There's Mints of Hints 2. That's a DLC. But this is the trailer of the game. I saw it. It's free on Steam, but I wanted to know if you guys would want me to play this. I haven't watched the trailer.
Party, and you're invited.
The Blue's Clues inspired game.
Look, everyone.
Oh my god, it is. Oh my god, what? Okay, that's a bit goofy, I'm not gonna lie.
Wait, stop. You can't eat sprinkles. She's our friend.
Looks like a Claytown whore. Okay, you know what? I don't think I'll play this anymore, as a matter of fact. It didn't look... I don't know. I don't think I didn't really like the trailer. It didn't... what do you guys think? I didn't... That was my first time watching the trailer. But no, it is... Now that you mention it, it does look like a Blue's Clues kind of game. Also, that... I don't even know what that thing was, but it looked kind of like a pony. Like from My Little Pony. And that kind of, like, scared me a little bit. It's goofy. Yeah. The trailer... I don't know if the game's actually goofy or if it's, like, bad. But the trailer definitely made it look a little awkward and goofy. What the hell is this, man? Who had the worst death?
Starting
Dog Days by a million miles. There was a demo for Claytown Horror. It's up to you if you want to play it. I'll have to consider it. I was thinking of playing it, but I never watched the trailer, and I don't know. There was a demo for Claytown Horror years ago. Claytown Horrors. Oh! What is this? Is this on Steam? Oh, it is. Part 1. Wow. Okay, let's look at the trailer for this. Okay. Wait, give me 1 sec to go to the bathroom really quick, and then we'll watch this. Give me 1 sec, guys.
Well, there you are. I've been waiting for you.
This is the dollhouse. And I think, I've done a preliminary inspection. I should probably just leave, right?
I had to play this game, guys. It really has a unique world that they're building here.
I love the aesthetic of this game.
Already, it seems different. It does seem unique.
It's very, arts and crafts. Hold on. I don't want to meet Ozzy. Yeah, knife slicing its stomach open, lovely.
I wonder if I can pick that up. Oh, I can. Ah, wonderful hand light. It's actually one of the bulbs. Oh, nice.
Dude. They barricaded the door.
Oh my god, I was muted. Whoops. But yes, I did check the game was $10. My bad. I didn't realize I was muted. Is this actually the trailer? Okay, there it is. I was like, huh, we're just watching other people play it. This game looks a little odd. At least right now it's not giving me the... I don't think it's worth the $10 as of right now. It's super low. Oh, Left 4 Dead? Actually, yeah, I agree. Oh man, I miss Left 4 Dead too. The game looks... I don't know. I don't have any opinions of the game right now. But I don't think I'd buy it right now. Well, one, I don't have money to spend, but if I were to spend it, I'd want it to be like a... I don't know, just... That's not a game that I think I would spend my money on just yet. It looked good, decent puzzles and ambience. Felt small dev team for sure. 3 years ago, it looked good. It's 3 years old? Oh, wow. It came out on October 25, 2022. Probably I wouldn't get it like right now. Because I don't feel like with the little money that I do have that it is worth it. But I will keep it in mind. Yeah. Okay, we'll watch one more video and then I will call it a stream. You guys will pick. Are we gonna watch the Yarnaby trailer or the Doctor trailer? Man, my poor board. I wanted to do so much more with this board, but can't even add. Look at this. Look, I can't even search up on Google. Poppy Playtime. No. I could do. I'll probably, if you guys want to see like a Garden of Ban theory video, I'll have to play the game first, because I wouldn't want to watch like a theory video on a game I haven't played. And we'll do both, Proxima. I wouldn't want to do a theory, like, that's why we only did it on like Poppy Playtime, because I've played all of the games that are currently out. But once I beat it, if you guys really want to watch like another theory stream, then I will gladly do it. But I do want to discuss with you guys. I do want to discuss with you guys later after stream on the Discord server, like your feedback of this stream.
Where am I?
Creations.
What is this?
It's the Doctor.
Wrong. This is wrong. You rat-saddled traitors. Curious. You have no idea what kind of mistake you just made. Yes.
I thought it was gonna be like some bird kind of thing, cause look what it is. Like, look at his little feet. He has like bird feet. And that's understandable, Trent. Don't worry about it. We can always like discuss those kinds of things as well tomorrow. I'll still talk about it in the Discord anyways. But like if you have to go to sleep, of course, just go to sleep. It's okay. I don't know why they give him bird legs.
The minds of men are easy to break. You believed mine could be broken too. You were wrong.
So they're both right. His voice does sound like cool and sexy, but they did give him bird legs, so it's like. No, yeah, all the people that did like any kind of voice acting or like voice lines on the VHS tapes were goated. The doctors in Japanese community is a meme. I would hope it'd be a good meme. I feel like they should have done they could have done so much more with the doctor. I don't know. I just feel like his part was so short in the game. I also felt that it was really easy. Did you know that there's a Poppy Playtime movie? You're lying. In development? Poppy Playtime movie. Oh! Hi, Piggy! There is a Poppy Playtime movie, like in the making. It was on 2022 was when they announced it with Studio 71. Oh great heavens! But this is no, that was the first time of me hearing certain images. Ugh. 2025. Is this fake? Chat? They are a big studio, this shall not be surprising. Wait, hold up. Release date. Hi, Dog Day! Wait, why are the critters joining my chat right now? What's going on? Well, you guys should have joined sooner. We've been watching, like, we were watching Game Theory go over all of the lore of chapter 1 through 4. And then we watched some other stuff. You guys should definitely replay the stream since you guys have missed so much. And also join the server, the Discord server that we launched 2 days ago. For when I streamed. And Catnap joined. What the hell going on? No, 2022 is outdated. The new studio hold and project is legendary. Okay, wait. Okay, wow. Okay, we'll finish this trailer of Yanabe, and then we'll watch the... Yeah, let me do that. Give me 1 sec, Trent. Let me ban that real quick. Yeah, there we go. But let's finish this trailer and Dog Day 2. No, I have Catnap, I got Dog Day, I got Piggy. Oh man. All of the critters are joining. Yeah, I feel like those bots only join when it's like with people with very small like view counts. Cause that happens whenever I have like less than 5 people watching that they like join. But thank you, Catnap, Dog Days, and Piggy for joining. You guys are late to the party. But you can always rewatch the stream. Teehee. No, I wasn't talking to you, or hi sheep. But no, we weren't talking to you guys. I was talking about Twitch. Because I'm streaming on both YouTube and Twitch, and on Twitch, like, one of those bots joined, like, oh, if you want free viewers, go to this page. But I did not mean you guys, just on the Twitch side. What happened, Yamato? Then are you your own critter? Wow. Oh. The camera goes out while pointing at him. Oh, they made his mouth so slimy. Disgusting. Don't worry, I consider you canon. The memeing, what you said earlier is fine. Oh, did I say something wrong, Yamato? Okay, we're gonna watch the... Wait, when is the release date? Because it says 2025. Oh no, my cat is on my desk. Get out. Ah, I see. You're just making sure.
Polish my shoes? Why, of course, Poppy. Just like a real girl.
It's gonna be on
Netflix. Wants to look her best.
Perfect. Thank you.
Is there anything else you'd like to say, Poppy?
I'm a real girl. Just like you.
Okay. You're joking.
Huggy Wuggy. Hollywood is called, and it's finally your time to shine. Yep, that's right. Poppy Playtime is getting the big screen treatment as a film is officially in the works, and we've got all the details for you right here.
There was no official Poppy Playtime movie yet, so any video out there is like, okay, that's all I need to know. These are good images, so I thought you were telling me to, like, that the trailers would be here, and I was like, I saw like goofy, green screen. I was like, yeah, there's no way. But I don't know, like I'm a little surprised because Poppy Playtime hasn't been out as long as like FNAF, and FNAF only more recently, I would say, got like their own movie. And FNAF has been out for a lot longer. I also feel like it's the most popular out of like anything of its kind. So for Poppy Playtime to get a movie so soon, it's like, wow. It just feels so like shocking to me. The official announcement, but it's still in the works. I see. Well, that's pretty exciting. Oh, hopefully, man, I don't even know. I don't even know when the trailer would come out because I know the FNAF movie 2 is coming out on December 5th. So if I remember correctly, I think FNAF, Poppy, and Bendy are getting an official movie. Oh, we'll be playing all of the Bendy games as well. I don't know when, but it is something I would love to do because I also have some of the Bendy books. Hi, Hobby. Okay, I've been streaming for like 3 hours and 40 minutes. I know the creators have only joined within the last 5-10 minutes. I've read the other ones, but they are 4 of the mascot movies. The trailers usually come out when everything is almost done. Yes, and it seems like it's gonna be in the works for a while. But thank you, Sweet Sheep, Catnap, Dog Day, Piggy, Hopscotch, Trent, Proxima. I think the other Twitch viewer was called Accelerator. Pretty sure. Let me double confirm. Thank you, Jarella. Teddy Sniper was also here for like a little bit. Where is it? Okay. I recently got new glasses, so I'm like struggling to adjust. Accelerator, yes, it was Accelerator numero uno. More of them coming? Well, I wish I could stay, but I've been streaming for so long. I'm a little tired. So I will have to unfortunately end this stream. I got you with a sub next month on the 7th that's when my Prime is back. I would really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. If you guys have any Twitch Prime subs, you should go to the Twitch and drop some. Winky face. I'd love to see more of the creators come, but 2 hours and 40 minutes stream and it was goated. I thank you. Please join the Discord if you guys haven't already, because even after stream, I will be more active on there because I do want your guys' opinion on how today's stream went, since this is the very first reaction stream I've ever done. All of the other streams I've done have been like gaming streams, and I know you guys wanted something a little different. I wanted to do something a little different. Hopefully soon someday I can get a just chatting setup, because I use, if for those of you who don't know, I use streamer.bot in order to see both YouTube and Twitch chat, and there's currently no chat widget that works for streamer.bot, so that I could like show the chat on display and also have like a nice chatting background. But hopefully I can get that soon, or like somebody can create a chat widget that works for that, because I really would like to do a lot more just chatting. And then we could watch videos, we could do like a bunch of stuff. But until then, we'll just probably keep doing like gaming. And if you guys really like this, then I will consider doing more theory videos. We could also do cringe, comedy, we could do like analog horror if you guys would like that too. But yes, I'm a bit tired, and this was like a pretty long stream for a new reaction stuff. That might come with a 10-second delay. Be prepared. I will be. FNAF VHS tapes would be great too. Yeah, I could do some like FNAF analog horror. There's a lot of things I could do. I also want to know what you guys would like in the future. If you guys have any recommendations for like reaction streams, in one of my community posts, I did ask what you guys would like for reaction streams and videos, and Proxima had requested a Poppy Playtime like lore one, which is what I did today. So if you guys have other recommendations, you guys can go on there and comment so that I can like save them and they're all like in one place. But yes, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you to all my lurkers. Thank you to all my future watchers. I have one series in mind. You should type it either in the community post or type it in the Discord and then I'll save it. But you should definitely tell me in like one of those two places, Yamato, and I will save it, I promise. And I'll look into it as well. But I am pretty tired, guys. I will be on the Discord, so you guys should join it. It's in the stream description, also in the channel description, also in the Twitch description. And I will see you all later. You should have a tab in Discord for that. I have it in the socials, but yes, I know what you mean. I'll try. I'll see if I have a panel, because I'm being cheap right now because I don't have money like that to spend. But yes, good night, guys. Thank you.